down the drain, they say. Promises tossed like paper mache. You built a castle made of smoke and fear, and now you're shouting what we don't want to hear. He stood on a mountain with gold in his hand, but the truth slipped out like grains of sand. It's not for everyone, you said with ease, blowing cold wind through tech junkies, please. Not for everyone, it's what you sell, cashing checks in a game or high-rise hell. You play your cards and you spin your lies, but the game's unplugged, we see the disguise. Tell disguise. Content kings, they promise the throne, but the kingdom crumbles brick by stone. $1 billion won't buy the heart. When trust is broken, it all falls apart. Oh, the lies stack tall like a digital cloud. They roar like thunder, but it dims the crowd. We're all watching from our pixel-lined seats as your empire crumbles right under your feet. Not for everyone, it's what you sell, cashing checks in a game or high-rise hell. You play your cards and you spin your lies, but the game's unplugged, we see the disguise. A disguise. Oh, the lies stack tall like a digital cloud. They roar like thunder, but it dims the crowd. We're all watching from our pixel-lined seats as your empire crumbles right under your feet. Not for everyone, it's what you sell, cashing checks in a game or high-rise hell. You play your cards and you spin your lies, but the game's unplugged, we see the disguise. But disguise.
Yo, grinders!
But disguise.
How you doing out there? Back from Grindcation. What are we doing here? How's everybody doing out there? My God. I was so hyped. Man, oh man, I was so hyped. There were 3 streams going. Holy shit on me. I'm still on vacation mode. Hope everybody is having a good weekend. Had a great weekend. But now it's time to cook. So I'm going to tell you right now, go get a drink, because you're going to need it, because we are going to go wild on this show. There is music, outstanding music. We got stuff to cover. I've been gone a week and shit has gone to hell. Incredible. I don't know what happens. I don't know if I should take vacations anymore. I go away. I'm on a cruise ship. I got no internet. I hit one of the docks. My phone lights up like friggin' 4th of July. And it wasn't 4th of July. And I see hell have fury. It was done. Xbox cooked. Gutted. I took a quick peek in that Laura Fryer video that I did on Saturday. As a little thing blew up like people were screaming at her. The Xbox Paw Patrol came out there. You know, Chase Dusty Bin. Goddamn Sky, what's his name? Sky Jez. Goddamn Xbox Paw Patrol going after her, going, woo, 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 woo. Laura Fryer, what do you mean Xbox? Woo, woo. Bitch ass Xbox Paw Patrol. We're gonna roast their ass. And then after that, Xbox Apocalypse. And then Herman Holtz gets off the shitter and he says Helldivers to Xbox. That man needs a check and a smack in the head. We're going to talk about it all. Get ready. Everybody's getting cooked tonight. Music, entertainment, roasting their asses. My God, my God. But anyway, thank you for asking. I had a great vacation. Hit that like button, grinders. You're going to want these songs, and we got a brand new song I'm going to be putting out here just for your time, and I apologize for the lateness, man. I told you, there was chaos. I had 3 streams going on. I don't know which one was which. I'm still on vacation mode. It was a rough day. When you come back from vacation, you got to take a day off to kind of refresh. I got off the boat yesterday. I'm here today at work, and then doing the podcast. It's craziness. Woo! My goodness. But I gotta tell you, it was a great vacation. Love cruising. Buffets, man. I gotta tell you something about buffets. I don't know. Put it in the chat or put it in the comments below. But I need to know, what type of buffet person are you? Are you the person that fills up the whole plate of food and sorts it out later? We like to call that the fat bastard. I call that the fat bastard. Just put it all on the plate, and we'll sort it out later. That's what Quadruple A Crooked Vulture says. Shout out to the grinders coming on in here. Then there's the person at the buffet that wants to read every friggin' sign like they just learned how to read. Like, what is this? Chef, explain it. Dude, it's food. Take it and get out of here. We don't need you to read every goddamn detail of what the food is. Look at it. Do you want it? Take it. We call those the hard-to-read buffets. Then you got the people that just are walking along the buffet and just goddamn stop for no reason right in front of you. Make you drop your goddamn filet mignons on your chest. Those people just stop. They look around, fucking looking at the sun, looking at the sky. You don't just stop. We're walking through the buffet. You don't stop. All right? You got those people that just stop in front of you. Well, move out of the way. Unorganized. Then you got the people that don't know how to use the tongs. They're like, what are these? You grab the food. They're goddamn massaging the food with the tongs. They're fucking up all the pancakes. Fucking dropping sausages all over the floor. And then they hand you the tongue after they just destroyed the display. It's like, please, learn how to use a tongue. I was on Herman's yacht. Yo, buffets on Herman's yacht. Please. You're dropping the food all over. I had one person that was taking this pancake. She was doing a hot dog. Dude, she friggin' mutilated the hot dog. And then when the guy adjusted it, she went for a different hot dog and said, yo, grab the one you've been finessing the whole time. Goddamn, leave the hot dog like that, like shit all over the place. You've been finessing that hot dog, rubbing that shit all over the place, broke the bun. That's your hot dog. Don't leave that for others. You know? Damn. I was going to say, there's all different types of buffets. There's wild times. Then you got the people that form a line. What are you forming a line for? They got people that gotta put a little bit on each plate. Yo, take it and move. And then the line cutters come from the other side. Oh shit. Anyway, buffets are wonderful. It's exciting. That is Grinds My Gears buffets. But shout out to everybody coming on in here. Those old ladies of those juicy meat sticks. Oh shit on me. Oh shit. Shout out to Nama's Boss member for 16 months. He goes, Grinders! That's right, man. I am hyped up, man. I've been waiting for today. I've been waiting to cook. When I saw that news when I got off the boat, I'm like, yo, the Grinders, they're called. The people were tagging me all over the place. Oh, what's up, Josh? Yes, Buffet Etiquette, Aaron Walsh, Don John, Mary Wilcox in the house, Foot Brizzle here, Drep Neal. How you doing? Grid, the first is here. Cephalon Snow, Lucci's in the house. Yo, Lucci all over the DMs, sharing the news. I'm like, Lucci, take a break. But he's like, yo, the shit's burning down. Aaron Brown in the house. How you doing, man? Glens of the Unknowns. Who else is in here? Mass Produce, Wild Wolf, and Crooked Vulture in the house. Geo knows gaming. He says we could start. Dude, Geo, you came on the right time. As soon as I figured out there was 3 streams going. Oh, shit, meat sticks. Yo, Xbox neutering 2.0, Mario Heat in the house. We got the Mario Heat. It's crazy, man. Yo, it's wild. It's wild. So anyway, we got to start with the first. Dude, there's 4 topics on here. I don't give a shit. I might even open up the Grindhouse. We might even kick the doors open and let the grinders come in here and vent. It's one of those nights. It's one of those nights that let the grinders just say how much horse shit's going on right now in these streets. And it's a shame because Death Stranding 2, I can't wait to come back. I was going to play it, and then I saw this craziness. I'm like, I got to get to the streets. I got to get to the grinders. Because they've been like, yo, you've been saying this the whole time. All this stuff's coming to fruition. Everything that we've spoke about in the chat, everything that I've shown, like, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Dude, this shit was not working. And what the saddest part of it all is that, as you know, what grinds my gears the most is when we don't get games. The stupid, idiotic decisions of these corporations, all of them, results in us not getting the games that we want to play. And I wanted Perfect Dark, and you're gonna, we may have put the kids to bed by the time that one. I have to get a little later for that one because I might need a drink for this one, for the Perfect Dark one, because dude. But let's start off with a little bit of lightness going on here. We're in the aftermath. This is the post-apocalypse of Phil Ness. Easy Toe in 3 months. He goes, we have reached the final phase of Phil Ness. Dude, it's not even Phil Ness anymore. It's failure with a PH. That's what it is now. There's no Phil Nesson anymore. I think we've moved on to this. I'll put it in here in the chat here. It's this. This is where we're at now. We are at failure right now. That's where we are. There's no more Phil Ness. There's no more grooming this shit. Failness. That's right. There's no more. The failure. Like, we are done. Like, it is done. There's no more bamboozling. Whoever's still left is glazed. Yo, I got to give credit, man. I never thought people will carry on glazing as much as they do. I don't know what Phil's doing on the back end, but dude, he must be grooming their ass so much for them to keep pushing this Xbox rhetoric. It's done. It is done. They have ruined gaming. They are a failure. All their acquisitions, they are a Pac-Man of shit. They are a green Pac-Man. They eat you up and they shit you out. And they don't care what's left. Talking about buffets. They're the fat bastards. Just eat up everything and shit it out. I don't care what we got. And we've seen this before. We saw this in the tape. We saw, dude, the ink didn't even dry of Bethesda. And they were already acquiring more studios, more acquisitions, $80 billion. Like, dude, go look at what you got already. What about the studios you purchased in 2018? Nothing, man. They let Booty. Yo, Booty really lives up to his name because he smells like shit. Everything he touches, man. Dude, Booty got to retire in a goddamn latrine somewhere because he shit up the place. That man, I don't know how he's avoiding. He is like goddamn Neo. I wouldn't call Booty Neo in the Matrix. He is flexing that ass like Neo in the Matrix with these firings, man. How the hell is Booty still around? I don't understand. I don't like people getting fired, but my God, Booty Cheeks should be in the streets. How the hell is Booty still got a job? Dude, that man ain't produced shit. That's all he produces is shit. Matt Booty is still employed after all these 8,000 people let go of that Microsoft, and the guy named Booty who should stand out. Dude, if you're looking at a list of employees and you got a guy named Booty, you go, yo, that man fucking smells. Get him the fuck out of here. That guy should shine on a goddamn paper.
You're my #1 customer.
Yo, if I was looking at an employee list and I saw a guy, but who's this guy? Booty? Get him the fuck out of here. I don't know. That guy, whatever he does must be like shit. Get him out of here. Bad quality. I don't know how this man is still there. He hasn't produced shit. He hasn't produced a game at all. Booty's failed everything. How is this man still taking pictures? They They got this man on this. Yo, how? Where the fuck is this guy? This guy running around glazing everybody with his booty cheeks and shit glaze. Where the hell is this guy? Taking pictures. What the fuck is this booty shit? How is this man still there? How? Phil Spencer, I know why Phil Spencer's there, because Satya doesn't know shit about gaming, and Phil is like trying to appease Satya, because Satya has no clue. Satya has no clue. Phil is like his concierge in gaming. Like, Phil, how's Nintendo doing? That's, you know why. That's why they renamed. That's why everything's an Xbox. You know why that's the promotion, right? You know why everything is an Xbox. Because Stutter and Satya don't know what the fucking Xbox is. You know that, right? These are facts. These are grindhouse facts. This is fact 101.1. The reason why everything is an Xbox is because Phil Spencer got tired of telling Satya they don't make a Nintendo, they make an Xbox. That's why. Phil's like, Satya, how's Nintendo doing? Satya, it's called an Xbox. It's not doing too hot. Nintendo's doing fine. We're doing great, Phil. No. Just like your parents when you were little, shut the Nintendo off. Mom, it's a Genesis. Put the Nintendo away. That's how Satya runs it at Microsoft. Phil, how's the Nintendo doing? Satya, it's called an Xbox. We've been doing it for 25 years. Satya's like, the Mario, he's doing good, right? Mario looks good. No. That's not us. That's not us. What? Yeah, no. Put the Nintendo away. No, it's not a Nintendo, Phil. It's Satya. What? No. So Phil's like, fuck it. Know what we're going to do? He goes like this. He goes, guys, we'll just call everything an Xbox because Satya, he don't know what the hell an Xbox is. So when Satya says, how's Xbox doing? Nintendo's now Xbox. There we go, Phil. Facts. That's why. Phil got tired of telling Satya what an Xbox was. So he said, you know what? Fuck it. Satya, everything is an Xbox, Satya. Excellent. That's it. Satya's like, now I don't have to stutter anymore. Everything. He goes, Xbox is doing good. Yeah, Phil, iPhones are selling fine. Xbox is doing great. Really? MetaQuest just sold. You mean Xbox? Yep, MetaQuest. That's Xbox. There you go. That's what they did, because Satya had no clue what an Xbox was, so they said, fuck it, call everything an Xbox, and now Satya knows what an Xbox is. That's facts. So, talking about cooking. we got to get cooking. Michael Meridian with the 10 VIPs in the house. Hit them up with the VIPs. Where are they? Get them up. We got Neil, DDP, Merc, hey Merc, John E, the Ruham, James Williams, Lyden Nyaka, Full Sweat Tryhard, Brian East, and Champagne Pix. Thank you so much, Michael Meridian. Got him. We're going. Oh, let me update our VIPs over here. Oh, shit, we're cooking over here. I don't even know where we're at. Oh, yeah, 185, baby. We're hit 85. Let's go. Glassdoor Gamer with the 5. He goes, the biggest trick the devil ever pulled is convincing Xbox fans he was a gamer and knew the industry. Phil was a Microsoft money application guy. Yo, he was. He finessed the shit out of them. He was a PR guy. That's what he was. And that's why he loved interviews and talking and saying shit and all that other stuff. Phil Spencer. He loved it. He loved them himself. That's why I love my meme of him right here. Where is my good meme of Phil Spencer? Where is it? This is why, because here he goes.
No, you like to look at yourself on television, you sick son of a bitch. So look at this.
There you go. He loves himself on TV. Gordo P23 with the 5. He goes, I have no idea how Ninja Theory didn't get hit with layoffs after the failure of Hellblade 2. Yet they shut better studios. Makes no sense, yo. We'll talk about what they did, man, because I still can't understand the X-pocalypse that has happened already. But yeah, like, you know, it is horrible there. But we'll get to the shutdown of everything. But we got to first talk. One of the things that stood out to me was that Laura Fryer thing, because last week, if you remember, the glazing was going extra hard. They were trying to do triple glazes and double glazes. And if you remember, I called it a deflection. right? And then Laura Fryer came out with a video. She worked with Xbox back at the OG Xbox. She developed with the 360. She worked on the Gears team. She's been around, and she did a video which I reacted to on Saturday right before I left. And when that video got around, people were going crazy. And the Xbox Paw Patrol went after her, discrediting her, trying to say that she doesn't know what she's talking about. Microsoft's still coming out with stuff, and she was just stating facts. She's like, dude, who's going to buy a handheld branded Xbox when you could do everything that's already done and there are no games? How many times have we heard people don't buy the systems, they buy the games? Xbox themselves said this thing. People buy the games. They don't buy the systems. That's why I said everything that Phil and friends have said about where to play your games, how, who, what. They never dealt with the what. And whenever it came to the what, it was in-engine. It was, you'll see more of it later. Oh, I'm excited about what I didn't show you. All this horse shit when it came to what you're going to play. But he'll tell you till you're blue in the face that you could play on a Meta. You could play on a handheld. You could play on a phone. He loves that shit. But never about the games. Like I said, when Sarah Bond said, the games you want to play, Sarah, stop right there. Because that's exactly what you don't have. The games people want to play. Work on that, and then we'll talk about where we could play those games. Because that's been the problem they always had. Play the games you want. Stop. Zip. Right there's the problem. Right there's the problem. Play the games you want. Yep, there's your problem right there. Stop making the games we want, and then I'll worry about if I could play it on a handheld through the cloud while taking a shit on a cruise boat. But first, you got to make a game that I want to play while taking a shit on a handheld on a cruise ship. The problem is you haven't made games that people want to play even on your own hardware itself. And because of that, everything else does not work. Nobody gives a shit about your cloud. Nobody growing Game Pass. Nobody buying your console. You want to know why? Because you're not making the games people want to play. Stop making great games, and then we'll talk about it. That's always been their problem. And Laura Fryer said the same thing. She's like, who's going to buy a device that doesn't have games that are unique to it? Who's going to buy a device that is going to be $800 to $900 that does the same thing that everything else does? It does. That's it. But here we go. Here we go again. And what happened was she came out with the video. And here we go. This is what they started. Here he is. Instead of reporting on what she's saying, the lady is from Microsoft and worked and produced Gears and worked on the OG Xbox and the 360. Instead of as an article writer using her lines and saying this is her opinion. Nobody gives a fuck about your opinion, Tom, because you don't have any credibility in the gaming industry. You never made a game. You never built a console. So nobody gives a shit what your opinion is. You report the news. You are not the news. You report the news. Reporter, journalist. You take the facts that she's saying and you report the news. You are not the news. Nobody gives a shit about what you think. But here they go. They think they are the news. And he goes, oh, I see we're back to hardware is dead phase. Microsoft has made it clear that it will launch a next-gen first-party console. Really? Really? You seen it? In your journalism? Have you seen this next-gen first-party console? You seen it? Are you going to take that Sarah Bond Razzmatazz video about the AMD partnership as confirmation that they are building the same console that's under their shelf? Because also Sarah Bond said in that same sizzle reel that Windows is the future of gaming. So that first-party console, that Series X and S that you got sitting there, bitch, does that have Windows PC on it? What you should be talking about is like, wait, if the future is Windows, then what happens to the 300 games that I own? Oh, that's the problem. You don't play games, bitch. So you don't play games. So why should you care about a library that's built on a console? You get all your shit for free. So report the news. Nobody cares about you. It's also the beginning to hint the OEMs will build consoles in the future. Both of these, really. So OEMs building Xbox consoles. So you're telling me the ROG Ally X is an Xbox console. Dude, what are you smoking? No, SSJ, she didn't even say that. But what are you smoking? Are you really trying to glaze everybody and telling people that the Xbox ROG Ally X, a friggin' PC, is an Xbox console? Like, are you that dumb? Are you that dumb? Really? Because we all know it's not. We don't need to be in the industry. It is an Asus ROG with Xbox branding on it. It is an operating system of Windows. Yes, they are trying to fine-tune Windows to have better performance, but that does not make it the same console. If that's the case, we could jump right to Hellblade2 and go, well, Hellblade2, Helldivers 2 really is on an Xbox already, right? Oh no, they got to make it for the Xbox consoles. Well, wait a second. Why is Nixxes involved if Helldivers 2 is already on PC? Why? Why is Nixxes involved and announcing it at a later time when Helldivers 2 is already on Steam and on PC? Why is Nixxes there doing a port for the Xbox consoles? Like, are we dumb? That is a different environment, a different certification, different beast of hardware and software that it needs separate porting and development for. And there are about over 300 games that I own that are not on PC here. So stop it. Like, I can't believe it's just like they're trying to fluff up Phil. Like, I've never seen journalists, supposedly journalists, like they should really be checked by their editors and stuff going, dude, that is propaganda and marketing by the corporation. You should not just, your job is not to echo that. You are there to either be pessimistic, skeptical, or proving facts. You're not there to echo marketing from a corporation. And that's exactly what they're doing. Him and the whole bunch of Xbox Paw Patrol from the Glaze Discord. All of them going after this woman, Laura Fryer, who has legitimacy and credibility in the industry, and all of them going out there and trying to disprove somebody else's opinion and think that their opinions are better, and using false marketing terms to say that she's wrong. How? As a journalist, what are you doing? Why are you saying, well, that's a first-party console? Where's the first-party console? Where is it? It's a hybrid, is it? Have you seen it? Because right now, that ROG Ally ain't an Xbox. Because it requires different development than the console that you own, and plays a whole different library of games. Hence, Xbox Play Anywhere, another promotion that you guys celebrate. Xbox Play Anywhere wouldn't be needed if it's all a PC. We wouldn't need Xbox Play Anywhere. But we do need it because the Xbox console, the Series X, is different than Windows PC. And Windows PC is different than Steam. Different file systems, different ways that it integrates with the operating system. These are facts. We've been living this for all these years. Why are we acting dumb now? And why are you spreading the marketing of the corporation's propaganda as a supposedly credible journalist? More of a clown school, clown journalism. OEMs building Xbox consoles. Dude, they're not building shit. What are you talking about? Until we see a Legion Xbox Series X Legion Edition. Like,
you're my #1 customer.
No. OEMs are not building Xbox consoles. Xbox is putting their tramp stamp on other people's hardware, on other people's PCs. That's what's happening. Until we see different. But it's Xbox and Microsoft tramp stamping other people's hardware. Hence why the Legion, it's not called Asus Xbox or Xbox by Asus. No, bitch. It is called the Asus ROG Ally X Xbox. They got their whole fucking full name of what their branding is. Hell, they couldn't even make the circle of the Xbox brand on the hardware because Asus says, bitch, we do octagons. You're going to put that tramp stamp on one of our triangle trapezoids. You are not putting a circle on our Asus ROG. Does that sound like an OEM building an Xbox? No, that sounds like Microsoft sneezing their way to put Xbox tramp stamps on other people's hardware. So stop. And I think it's pathetic that the bullshit people like here are doing this and trying to glaze this thing and calling everything as an Xbox and really believing it when they covered this more than any of us have and know damn well what the hell things are. That's where I'm just like, you know, this media, like, I'm not even talking about fans. This, him, bootleg, all of them, Dusty Bin, all these people that have audiences and are supposedly Microsoft and Xbox covering, glazing the shit out of people. It's wrong. The rhombus, right, Zetmondo? The rhombus. So until we see a lineup of real Xboxes and they're like have a little brand of Legion or a little brand of Asus, but that doesn't sound like that at all. But let's go after Laura Fryer and discredit her on all this stuff. Well, Xbox is still making hardware, so I don't know what we're talking about now. And then they'll say, well, discredit Mike Ybarra. He don't know what he's talking about either. He's just disgruntled. He goes, tough to see Xbox confused about who it is and where it and what it should be. Some great people still there, but yet to figure out what needs to change and fast. I'm a big fan and always bleed green, cheering for the team from the sidelines. Pick your lane and stick to it. Dude, that's wrong? Oh, he don't know what he's talking about? That's been their problem the whole time, is that they don't know what they are. And now they're trying to say, we don't know what we are, but we're everything. Dude, you can't be everywhere and nowhere at the same time, but they happen to manage to do it. Nobody values them. And after what happened last week, who the hell's left to even hope that there's something left? Even if there's a glimmer of light, they are destroying themselves from the inside out. But El Nini, I'd never seen it before. How are these people spreading propaganda? It's just like Disney World saying like, hey, you know, we're the best place on earth. And you're just like, it's the best place on earth. Have you been there? No. It's the best place on earth. The best place on earth. It's like, so you just repeat what the company says they are? Great Adventure may come out and go, we're better than Disney. And you go, Great Adventure is better than Disney. Have you been there? Yeah. No. It's better. It's better. Just because they say it's better, you're not going to go to Great Adventure and compare it to Disney? You're basically just going to say because Great Adventure said that they're better, you're just going to go report the news. Great Adventure is better than Disney. Anybody that says otherwise is wrong. That's exactly what they're doing. Just because the big $1 trillion corporation says it, they believe it. And that's always been the problem. Instead of, and given the history of Microsoft and the fallacies that they've made and the pivots and the changes and the detriment that they've done to some of the gaming stuff, You still go in with that confidence and believe them that they're going to do something they say they're going to do? And after what they just did with Perfect Dark and all these studios and what they've shown you, you're going to go right back on that Xbox boat train and believe everything? Really? Given the history of what they have done.
You're my #1 customer.
How, and that's why I never understand how everybody's so optimistic about when Phil talks. It's like, dude, he's been glazing your ass so much and has failed on so many things. From Connect, from $60 games are right and $70 robbery, then increases the prices of everything, to just 4 games, to the whole slate, to things I'm excited about we didn't announce and then didn't ever announce them, to we're going to promise you sequels and then shuts down the studio. That's real gameplay. Never see the game again and then it's gone. And then the man comes out there going, we're going to make Xbox and PC and all, we're going to fix it all, fix it all, fix it all. Fix it all. And you go running in the streets going, I believe in Phil? The guy just failed you 5, 6 times. And you guys come in there with so optimism. Oh, this is the time. They were promising 5G internet was going to rule the world with cloud gaming. Nobody's going to play on TVs. And what happened? Now we're back to native gaming because cloud gaming sucks. But man, 5 years ago, oh, 4G, 5G's better now. Oh, 5G, oh shit, that's changing the world. You don't know. You're living in the past, man. The infrastructure of 5G. You don't know what you're talking about. Everybody's been using 5G, the infrastructure permeating through concrete walls. I'm going to be streaming my whole library on my phone with a strap on in the bathroom. That's the future. You don't know what you're talking about. Native, oh, too much. Now it's like, no, it has to be native. Cloud gaming sucks. Oh, really? So now we're all believing this. This is what happens. The cloud was supposed to revolutionize everything. You're just going to play from your TV. No console required. And that's so funny because right before it was everything is an Xbox. Before that, it was no console required. Don't you find it so weird? How did we go from no console required to everything is an Xbox to now hyping up native hardware for your TV in first? Whoa, wait. How did we go from no console required to now everything is an Xbox and we need a console? We're going backwards, right? No console required. That was the year before. Now we can't wait for a console. We need first-party hardware. We need first-party AMD hardware. Why? Microsoft was telling us no console required. What happened? Like, don't you see? Like, they're all over the place. So, exactly what Mike Ybarra is saying. Pick a goddamn lane. Now we're hoping and praying they make first-gen hardware. It was no console required with an LG TV before. You think they're hyping up buying consoles when they were walking around 2 years ago with no console required? And then they say everything is an Xbox and they show a phone and everybody else's hardware. MetaQuest. And now we're hoping first-party hardware has got to be made. It's ridiculous. It makes you go cross-eyed. Let me get to the generous chats and everything from the grinders out here. You guys are going wild. I appreciate it. Hit that like button. We're cooking. This is just the intro. Yeah, the Portal's no console, right, Zemando? Glassdoor Gaming with the 5. He goes, it's the Glaze Civil War this week. Dusty Bin with multiple negative Xbox videos, Colt, Bootleg Jez, Tassie, Digital Foundry, Rats jumping off the ship. Yeah, right? That's right. Glassdoor, like, they're going to do the negative videos of the layoffs and all that other stuff, but then they're going to jump right back on board as soon as Phil gives them a whiff. As soon as Phil gives them a whiff, they jump right back on board, sniffing that ass. That's why their negative videos don't mean shit. They're just trying to balance their algorithms. But as soon as Phil just walks by them and goes, and they send over Matt Booty, and Phil Spencer just walks by him like this, and he goes, "Oh, here comes Phil Spencer down the hall," and Phil Spencer goes like this. He walks by them and he goes, "What that? Oh shit, that's the glaze. Xbox is back. Sony's done. They don't know what they're doing. Phil said that the new consoles are going to be better than PlayStations, and they're going to..." Dude, as soon as Phil gives them a whiff, right by their fucking office. Give them a fucking whiff, Phil. They crawl right up that ass. That's exactly what they do. That's why I don't even bother clicking on their shit. Because they are just algorithm bitches. We just make music about them and move on. Stay tuned. Twisted Sin with the 5. He goes, "Jez, remind me, how many times has an OEM been successful?" Well, let me go back into the archives, Twisted Sin. Oh, yeah. I remember when OEMs were making hardware for Microsoft. It was the virtual reality horse shit. Remember that? Remember the OEMs were going to build the hardware. Remember all that AR, VR bullshit? OEMs was the HP headset. Remember all these? Oh, man. Remember those Windows AR virtual realities? Yeah, that's when OEMs were going to bake VR from Windows. Yeah, here we go. I remember this. Yeah. The HoloLens crew and the OEMs. Samsung had one. Virtual machine. Yeah, all that wonderful stuff. Yeah, how did that turn out? By the way, they just canceled all of it in the last update last year. So, yeah, it's going smashingly. So, yeah, that was the last time that Microsoft was like, "Hey, we'll just make the virtual reality app for Windows." And HP AR headset. You make here, HP. You make the AR headsets for our Windows. That worked out smashingly, right? The augmented reality. Windows mixed reality. Remember? Just for those that don't remember. Oh, look. Here's the Acer one. Acer Windows mixed reality headset. Mixed emotions. The first and new wave. And this is what I mean. The OEMs are going to build the hardware. Let me ask you something. As a side note. Who's doing quality control? Who's ensuring that whoever's brand of Xbox or mixed reality you buy, it's the same experience? Who ensures that the games that get released, the applications are all certified and work on all these Frankenstein devices? Who brings it all together to make sure that these headsets from all these different OEMs, putting different resolutions of screens, putting different RAM, putting different speed hard drives in it, putting different types of graphics processes, maybe like a lower version one? Who's ensuring that all this works seamlessly across the board and all the games run the same and all the games run at the same frame rates and same performance? Who? Because that's the experience you get with a console. There's a whole certification process that they need when they put it on an Xbox or a PlayStation to ensure that that game plays the same across all Xboxes, across all PlayStations. But when you got Frankenstein products from Acer, from Asus, from HP, from Dell, from all these people, who is doing that certification? It becomes a shit show. It becomes a Frankenstein. It's exactly what PC gaming is. Hell, I just bought Mortal Kombat 1 on sale for my PC. Well, guess what? It doesn't support the core Intel drivers. So now I have a red of red overlay to Mortal Kombat. That's all because WB or whatever did not support Intel graphics drivers. It only supports NVIDIA and AMD. So guess what? The core handheld PC, A1M, yep, I got to get a refund because that game does not function. Who was there to tell me that? I had to go to forums to find out there's no fix. I have to trick the computer to think that it's running an NVIDIA card in order for it to get rid of the red screen that overlays my game. Does that sound like a console experience to you? Well, that's who's controlling that stuff. We find out through forums, through community posts, through GitHub applications that have the computer get tricked. You don't have to do that with a console. But that's something that happens when you have all different parts and forms and Frankenstein of hardware. So these are the questions that people should be asking when Xbox keeps talking about this OEM future. This is the problem. But nobody talks about it. But there you go, Twisted Sin. That's the last time an OEM is successful. And know what it comes down to? Software. And how has Microsoft been with software updates and everything like that? I'll give you a sound clip of how well Microsoft is with software support and everything. There you go. Booty has spoken. There you go, Twisted. I just answered your question. Glinza with the 2. He goes, Phil at the donut shop. Give me all the glaze. Well, you said the key words, so we're hitting it. It's that time. Grinders, they all went after her because they all had.
Juicy, 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 glah, 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 glaze, glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of janky
there to go.
Pancake, shake my head, Xbox marketing.
Go, 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 glaze!
Juicy, 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 glah, 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 glaze, glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of janky Jones pancakes. Shake my head, Xbox marketing. Can juicy, 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 glah, 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 glaze, glaze, double glazed
Get out
blackberries
there,
on top of janky
Dustin!
Jones.
Gotta make those cookies!
Xbox marketing.
Get those cookies ready, biatch! Here they come! Oh shit, here they come now!
Juicy, 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 glide,
You're my number one customer.
Yo, that Laura Fry video, man, they came out there. They came out there. There they go. Xbox Paw Patrol, go! Get that look. Get him, Dustin. Get him. Get a bootleg jazz. Here he comes. Oh, there they come. There they come. Oh, Laura Fry wrote a video. Get her. Bootleg, get out there. Oh, shit. This is the Xbox Glaze Discord. Go get him. Oh, shit. Flexing those things. Yo, get that Laura Fry. Here they come. Here goes Bootleg Jez. Here goes Dustin. Oh, shit. Put the cookies down. Get him. Xbox Glaze Discord. We're going overtime. Get that Laura Fry. She don't know what she's talking about. The Xbox Paw Patrol. Go get him. Whole fucking song. Give me the whole song, bitch. Here they come. Get out there, Destin. Put the cookies down. Get out there. Yo, that Laura Fryer. She don't know what you're talking about. Watch this. Woo! Oh shit, man, they're working overtime. Oh shit. That's exactly, dude. I'm telling you, don't engage with them on the internet. The best thing is just to think about the song and that video, and that's them marching to Phil Spencer's orders. That's it. That's all you think about, and then you laugh and we move on. That's all you do, because they are entertainment, because they have no value in offering any kind of opinion at all. Just like this. Like, look at this. Just happened to cross the desk. Like, this is what I mean. Dude, open up a bakery and get the hell off of Twitter, because nobody wants to talk to you. Now he's trying to do some glazing video now, because now the Game Pass profitable claim from Chris String. He was saying now that when they were saying that Xbox was profitable, that they were not giving the first party costs. They were just talking about just overall without incorporating their investment into it, which will really hamper their profit. And this is what's been going on. And Dusty Bin is like, well, I'm going to reach out. Here he goes. And here comes Derek Strickland with his fake ass numbers. Dude, these people, it's the same clown patrol, man. They all travel in the booty car. Seeing more devs speak out about Game Pass following a huge Xbox layoffs. The guy goes, I say it again, Game Pass is very profitable. The money Microsoft invests pays for indie games you wouldn't get to play anywhere. It also is a gateway. And then here we go, Christian. So the costs associated with Game Pass business, if fees, dude, let me tell you something. I'm going to save everybody from reading this horse shit. And let me tell you something right now. Here we go. Lean right into the speaker right now. Just listen to what I'm about to tell you right now. Ready? Let me tell you something. I don't need to reach out for clarifications. I don't need a response. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you a fact right now. Everybody get real close to wherever they're listening to Gaming Grindhouse on it. Let me tell you something. Ready? Is Game Pass profitable? Hold on. Get real close to the microphone. Get real close. Get real close. Let me tell you something. No. Thank you very much, and move on. You could spin it any which way it is, because if Game Pass was profitable, if Game Pass was lucrative, you wouldn't be here. End of story.
You're my number one customer.
End of story. End of conversation. Microsoft would not be putting their games on PlayStation. Microsoft will not be laying off the entirety of Xbox game studios, shutting down games that were in development and were announced. If it was profitable and working, we wouldn't be here. So I answered your question. Is it profitable? No. Move on. No research needed. No explanations. It is not working. Done. Thank you. Facts. We're done. Move on. It's dead. Game Pass failed. If you like it and you've been glazing and using it triple stacked and double stacked, dude, enjoy. You milked the shit out of them. And hell, why not? They were giving it to you with a box of Oreos. You could play Gears 5 for a bag of Chips Ahoy. Why not? That's what their games are worth anyway. Let me eat a Chips Ahoy and play this trash. Because that's what they put out. And they knew they were putting out trash. Giving you 30 frames at launch and saying it's Artist Division. They knew that you were SMS straws and you paid 3 years for Game Pass stacked with a box of chocolate chip cookies. They knew it. That's why they gave you Hellblade at 30 frames. That's why Starfield was 30 frames. That's why Redfall looked like Assfall. That's why Bleeding Edge was Bleeding Ass just a year later. Because they knew you stacked for 3 years for $60. And then when they wanted to increase the price, they knew they're not going to get that shit back. That's why they increased the price. If it was so profitable and it's so successful, then we wouldn't have, and price increases, we wouldn't be where they are now. So there's your answer. It failed. It always failed. It backfired on them. Game Pass failed. It created a culture of people not buying games. It created developers not wanting to put their games in Game Pass. Hence, Microsoft had to go out and buy whole-ass publishers. Because they wanted at first people to do what they did. Take their games and throw it in Game Pass. And publishers said, hell no. Even Strauss Zelnick said, hell no. But tell me how it's still profitable. Dude said, I'm not putting my new games in Game Pass day one. Are you crazy? I got to sell them. And Microsoft realizes that now. Right, Phil? Because if Game Pass was such a success, he would just told Shaggy, yes.
Black Ops 6 day one Game Pass.
Black
That's
Ops
pretty
6,
sweet,
dude.
right? Like,
Some people said I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, most people in this room have probably been used to spending
Game Pass was a
60,
success,
$70 on it every year. Now, if they're already subscribing to Game Pass,
And
good to go.
But it's a choice.
What?
Like, we didn't say to anybody, you have to subscribe to play. If you want to buy Black Ops, it's great. It's great for us. It's great for the developer. If you want to subscribe, it's also great. Like, I want to give you the choice on how you play your games and who you play with, and not try to do slimy platform things to force you to do what I want you to do.
Really? You mean like slapping tramp stamps on PC hardware, calling an Xbox, and it doesn't play Xbox games? Yeah, that's not slimy at all, Phil.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd have to go back.
Yeah.
And look at it's
Yeah. Calling something an Xbox that doesn't play 300 games from your library, that's not slimy at all. But it's a choice. If Game Pass was a success, he wouldn't tell you to go buy your games. But no, he wants you to buy it. Ron M with 5 VIPs. Thank you again, Ron M. Hitting the house, man. He's going crazy with the VIPs. Shout out to Ron. Let me get that VIP update. GameCat, specifically White Tiger with the 2. He goes, even as a Sony fan, I feared this stream. Compete. I know, man. I agree. Well, we'll talk about it. Easy Tone with the 5. He goes, this song makes me realize now that celebrating exclusives doesn't matter. We will never see more genius marketing like Janky Jones and IHOP.
The buried treasure is gemstones of juicy glazed blackberries.
That juicy glaze, man. Give him that juicy glaze. That's right. Hit him with the juicy glaze. But yeah. It's telling you, man. Like, it's crazy. It's a choice. If Game Pass was so successful, it would be go to Game Pass. But no, they want you to buy your games. And all of a sudden, now when they're putting their games on PlayStation, now they're 60 frames. Now they got the rot mode in Hellblade2. All of a sudden now, all these things were fixed. All these things, these were Artist Vision before. Now it's, oops, now we're adding it in. Enhanced edition. Where was the enhanced launch? In Game Pass, to prove that Game Pass is the place to be. No. So it doesn't work.
Number one customer.
And you don't need clarification, and Microsoft will never provide clarification. But their actions show you exactly how it doesn't work. It does. Twisted Sin with the 5, he goes, every person that defended Microsoft acquisitions, and Dine Phil, I hope it was worth it. Oh, yeah, man. Dude, they loved it. And you want to know why? It's because they thought that Microsoft was going to flex the ownership of these franchises and make it exclusive or put it under, like, you know, you remember the image of all their studios and all the IP that they owned? I knew that was too much for them. I knew that there was no way they couldn't even get games out from the studios they owned before these acquisitions. How were they going to do anything with all this IP? And they're not. We led with the buffet. They went to the buffet, put everything on the plate, and said, and they go, I don't want to eat. They ate up everything to just take it away from people. They went to the barbecued ribs section of the buffet, took all the barbecue ribs away so nobody else could get barbecue ribs, and sat their ass down and didn't eat them and wound up throwing the ribs away. That's exactly what Microsoft did. They consumed but never used it to feed themselves or do anything to their brand. Instead, they just took it just to take it away from other people out of fear, use their money as a cockblock, excuse my French, buy it from people so nobody else could do it to them, just to take it away. So it's my ball, I have it, and now nobody's playing. And we're going to shut it down. Exactly what Embrace is doing, and they're doing the same thing. Let's buy these studios, let's buy these places, let's buy all the stuff, let's use them for what they are, and let's shut it down.
You're my number one customer.
And that's exactly what they did. They just used their money to block people from doing the thing to them. It's exactly why they bought ZeniMax. Sony was getting exclusive games from Bethesda, Deathloop, Ghostwire Tokyo, maybe even Starfield. And Microsoft was like, uh-oh, block them. So they went out there and said, well, we're going to buy the whole ass publisher. So Sony, you can't do that to us. You can't pull games away. And Sony said, fine, I'm going to go to a China Hero Project. I'm going to do it somewhere else. And you are just going to do it to yourself because of the S. And that is the reasoning why. Like, they just use their money to block people from doing it. They didn't want people to do it to them. It wasn't like that they had any idea that they wanted to do anything with it. People are like, oh, they're going to bring back Prototype, and they ain't bringing back shit. Oh, we might get the old Spider-Mans from Activision. You ain't getting shit. You can't even get a Banjo out of Rare. You're going to get Prototype? Yeah, my asshole. I think Toys for Bob, the only way you were going to get a Spyro was if they spun off away from Microsoft. Because if I think they stayed for them, they would have been gone too. They said, we see the writing on the wall. Guitar Hero, yeah, exactly. Oh, they're all coming. They're all coming. Watch this. Talking about these glazes, and then we'll move on to Helldivers and then get real cooked with a Perfect Dark. Glinza with the 5, he goes, Don Matrick, if you want a failed product with no exclusives, we got a console for you. Dude, they launched a console with no games. That told you how this generation was going to go. Easy Tone with the 5. These glazes popped up a failed system until it killed studios, jobs, and games. Glad devs are calling out the guys like Bootleg Jez for helping Microsoft. And what Easy Tone? Grinders, you read my mind. You always read my mind. You always read my mind. Here you go. Exactly what Easy Tone is talking about. This is why I love the live audience and the grinders in the house. We're going to hit the goal before I even get to the Perfect Dark rant. Holy shit. This is wild. Thank you again, grinders. Hit that like button. We're rocking. We're cooking here. I'm glad to be back. Because this is the foolery that went around when I was away. Chris Avalon sending good thoughts to those affected by the bizarre Microsoft layoffs and hope you find new jobs. As for mouthpieces like Bootleg, Jez, Corden, and Cobra that thrive like remoras on the underbelly of Xbox news, you two can go fuck right off, you pathetic shills. Oh, man. Jez goes, which titles are we in trouble? Sorry, I don't have many sources within the studios all of a sudden. Dude, I typically cover the ecosystem and the hardware. You don't play games, exactly. I was excited for those games as a fan and as a gamer. Luke goes, dude, just shut the fuck up. First you say you have sources, now you don't. Then he goes, I have sources in hardware and ecosystem. I don't have sources at Obsidian. I've never played Avowed, and I've never covered it to my knowledge. And then Chris Avalon goes, you fucking serious right now? Dude, that's the article. That's the article. You're a clown, Jez. Dude, that's the article. Remember the article? He saw Avowed. It had the glimmering, juicy members, the glowing, remember? Do you remember that, Grinders? Oozing mushrooms. Oh man, don't you remember that? He don't know Avowed. He never played it. He never covered Avowed. He never played Avowed. Wait, where the mushrooms? Where is it? It was oozing juicy glazed mushroom man. Where? Here it is. Is this it? There we go. I've seen Avowed and I'm hyped. He has no sources though. There he is. Where, hey, Bootleg, what happened to October? Where is it? October 17th, 2021. Later, Mary. There are more reasons to be excited about Xbox Game Studios' future. Here it is. Yeah, Project Contraband, Project Dragon, man, Project Asshole, Inside Project Cobalt. There are mountains of known games, from Hellblade2 to Perfect Dark. Oh, we'll talk about that one. And then Kojima's Cloud game. And then there's Avowed. I got a small update on this project. Here it is. Where is he? Where's the... Wait, I love the best part here. He never covered it, though. He's a huge Pillars of Eternity fan. Oh, shit. We've seen... Oh, man. Pillars of Eternity goes... We've heard of destructible aspects of environments using lit torches. Oh, my God. Yo, he's talking about... Dude, he's talking about you put the torch on the vine and it lights up. Oh, man, that's something. Fire spells, leave areas... Dude, if you played Avowed, let's hear about what he said about it in 21. Fires leave areas coated in flames, which cascade against walls and floors. You remember this from Avowed? The content I saw represents a pre-alpha state with aspects like lighting and textures not fully implemented. But wait, he did see the fire casting in the flames and cascading against walls and floors. And then he goes, the aspects like lighting and textures are not implemented, which is one reason why I'm not sharing the documentation I've been shown. The art style is expected to elevate what we store in the outer worlds with brighter, livelier colors. I've only saw a couple of areas. He goes... Utilize something in the... Dude, the juicy members. There it is. Where's the... Here. Who's a machismo? He never covered it, though. What did he say? I don't have Source of Obsidian. I never played Avowed and never covered it, to my knowledge. Dude, who are they trying to forget? Like, what are you doing? This is the reason why they want to be the news. Instead of reporting on the news, they think they are the news. Craziness. Kojima's thing. He saw documents, but he's not sharing them though. But he saw the fire cascading all over the place. You've seen that. We played Avowed this year. Did you see the fire effects? I don't know. He said that. Wait. I gotta see it now. Now I gotta go to the streets. I gotta go to the streets here. He says the fire effects in Avowed are absolutely, they cascade all over the place. I gotta see this. Where's my fire effects? No, not that one. Here it is. I gotta see the fire spreading. Wait, you read what Jez said, right? In the pre-alpha footage. Well, here's Avowed 4 months ago. Let's see those fire effects that he's talking about. How they glaze and they basically cover the area. Let's see. Oh, shit on me. Man, oh man, do I gotta hit an encore of a song? My goodness. Bootleg Jez. Bootleg Jez. This is what you were talking about. In 2021 pre-alpha, it spreads on the walls of fire. Bootleg Jez reporting there. Oh my God, look at this. You read it.
Juicy, 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 glack, 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 glaze, glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of Janky Jones pancakes. Shake my head and bust my
Mind you, he was looking at pre-alpha footage in 2021. Oh man.
Juicy, 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 glack, 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 glaze, glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of Janky Jones.
There's something spreading, that's right.
Xbox marketing.
The fire was cascading on the walls and on the ceilings, and Bootleg was there. Yeah, look at these fire effects. Bootleg, you saw the game in pre-alpha 4 years ago. What happened? It got scoped. Look at these effects. Better than the Outer Worlds, he said. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. That's why they get laughed. Look at these are horrible. But positive things from Xbox Studio. This is why we're at where we're at. These are all the beautiful effects that he's talking about in that article. I'd like to read them as you watch. We've even heard of destructible aspects of the environment using lit torches and fire spells. Wait, where's the fire spells again? Fire spells that burn down blocked entryways. Fire spells that leave areas coated in flames, which cascade against walls and floors. The content is pre-alpha, but it certainly has aspects of lighting and textures not fully implemented, which is why I'm not sharing the documentation. I expect that it's elevated what we saw in the Outer Worlds with brighter and livelier colors. I only saw a couple of areas. Avowed will feature many elements like jolting touch, which fry enemies with forks of lightning. Oh yeah, lightning. Let's see about those lightning. Oh wow. And two-handed fireballs that will conjure up complex-looking hand gestures that decimate enemies in a magma of fire. Oh yeah, where's that meteor shower he's saying? Complex-looking hand gestures. I'm reading what he wrote. I also saw the status of the fetid caress imbuing the poison. He says the poison invoking wait, where's the poison? Where's the poison? Is this the poison? Where's that poison he's talking about? In the game that he said he never covered. Is there poison? I don't think I made the game. Where's the poison? I don't even see it. Magically enchanted swords and frozen arrows. Oh yeah, let's see. Let's see those magically enchanted arrows. Oh. Wow. The combat's a loadout with... Oh man. Warriors will get more physical attacks like swordplay, powerful kicks, and shield bit. Yo, this is the game. Dude, somebody gave him a script. And this is what he said. I've seen Avowed and I'm hyped for it. Dude. Here is the game 4 years later. Anybody? Yeah. Remember, the games you want to play. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The games you want to play. That's always been the problem. And I thank you again, Grinders. the games you want to play. Now, speaking of the games you want to play, we need to take a break from our roasting of the Xbox Paw Patrol and going after Laura Fryer, and we need to talk about another development here, Grinders. And I'm really interested in your opinion to this, because I have something to say about this. Helldivers 2 going to Xbox.
Where the box is in the name of our brand.
Sony publishing a Xbox game. Listen, I love myself some Helldivers 2. I love Helldivers 2. It is an incredible game. And you know what? We could do all the spiel of more people to play and all this other stuff, and that's nice. So Helldivers 2 and Nixxes announced that a new dawn is approaching. Super Earth is expanding its operations. Xbox players, your opportunity to enlist when Helldivers 2 deploys on August 26th, which happens to be the same day Gears repackaged or whatever comes out. Pre-order standard and Super Citizen editions today. So, found out that it's not in Game Pass and it's not an Xbox Play Anywhere title. But what it is that it is a PlayStation-owned IP being developed and ported to Xbox, not PC, which it's already on PC and PlayStation, but to the Xbox console. The 35 or so million. I can't believe that Sony is like, first off, I can understand putting your game on Switch if you're going to do something. I could understand putting it on a PC if you're going to do something. Those have large install bases, and the potential of selling your game makes sense. Before I move on, we have somebody in the chat.
Hey, Ron, where are you? Where is Ron right now? No Ron, huh?
No, he's there.
Well, you better be sick, dead, or mute, Ron.
We got him. Aaron's here. We got him. Now we can begin. We got Aaron in here. Aaron, I call him. I could see if you're going to do something and spread your IP, as Herman says, spread your whatever the other, spread your legs. PC, huge install base. Switch, huge. Horizon, whatever. Herman's girlfriend going on a Switch. But to spend development time and Nixxes' time on building a game to work on Series S and X, the install bases are the lowest of the low. Why are you wasting time on that and resources? That is why I have the question mark on Herman's forehead. You gotta be real petty or real desperate to make a buck to waste time and have them put the game on such a low install base. Like what? And to work with the S. Bitch, you'd even have good 60 frames and it was blurry at launch with Helldivers. We had to wait for some like upgrades and up the details that you did because 60 frames was kind of blurry on Helldivers 2 for PlayStation. What the hell is Helldivers 2 going to look like on X? On the S? Why are you wasting the valuable time of Nixxes to do this? That is the question of the day. And I do not understand the logic to this. I don't know who approached who. All I know, it's dumb. If you are that desperate to make money, I don't know how much you think you're going to sell. Obviously, it's not for install base. Because if it was for install base, they would then probably put it in Game Pass. They are looking to sell this game. Whether it is a refugee bait everybody's leaving Xbox, so why don't we just kind of tease them with one of our games and get them to come over here? I think that's stupid. Because I could give Nixus projects that would make a buck if you're that desperate, Herman and friends, to sell games. You can make Nixus make a PC port to Dreams, you bitch. Why don't you put Dreams to PC and have the PC dudes make incredible games with the mouse and keyboard for Dreams for us to use in VR2? Why don't you use Nixus to make VR2 for Dreams and have them put that on PC? They could create games on PC and then we could play them. There's a port that you need to do. Media Molecule ain't be doing shit. If you want to make a buck, have Nixus work on Dreams. Hell, have Nixus remaster fucking Uncharted multiplayer. I don't know. But there's a lot of different things that you could do with Nixus to make a buck. But just to create Helldivers 2 to put on the Xbox low-ass install base, first off, they were torching Phil's house. And of all weeks that you announced this thing, it has to be the worst timing. Dude, they were torching Xbox house this week. And just when they're like ready to throw their Xbox out the window, going, they're canceling games, shutting down studios, your dopey Herman Holtz Hitoki ass comes, well, here's a PlayStation IP, first time ever for you, Xbox. And they're like, whoa, wait, let's not throw that Xbox out right now. Hold on. Sony just threw us a bone. Phil don't give a shit about us, but Hitoki, he just gave us a game. He created a whole new narrative for us. Like, Sony, are you that fucking stupid? Of all weeks? Xbox is in the hole, in the shitter. They're done. They can't even get themselves out with their own games. And you throw them a bone? Are you that desperate for a fucking buck? And now, what else may come? I could go remake goddamn SOCOM, Nixus. Port that shit over to PC and a PlayStation. Do something else with what the IP that you have. Fuck, go make PlayStation All-Stars, you bitch. There's a million ways to make a buck. But putting Helldivers 2 on Xbox, like for that low install base, like will you're feeding the low install base? I don't get it. It is perplexing. And I think it's dumb. And you want to know what? Sony gonna fuck around and find out. I've always said it. You keep fucking around, man.
PlayStation FAO. You gon' learn the hard way. Hit greenness, better watch out when you fly too close to the sun. Just ask Phil, he got permanent tan lines on his ass.
There you go, Tokeness. You fly too close to the sun, you burn your ass. PlayStation FAFO. But you want to know what I think? I think Xbox is gonna kill itself before Sony could FAFO. That's what I think. I think Xbox, before Sony could go fuck around and find out, I think Xbox is gonna put itself in the ET hole. That's what I think.
ET better move over. Xbox says make some room. It's coming. Bury Xbox in the ET.
I think before they FAFO, before Sony could do even more damage, I think Xbox is going to kill itself before it happens. But I just think it's stupid, wasted time. Like, I just think it's dumb. And you could think of different ways, like, well, maybe, like what Michael said, like maybe Arrowhead wanted to ship it. They did say that their next game, they are funding it themselves. They are funding it themselves, so they're not using PlayStation. They were a great partner, but they're not going to use them for their next game. Maybe Sony's like, well, hey, let's give you some notoriety. My personal opinion, I think Sony wants
You're my
to
number one
do
customer.
something with the Helldivers franchise. I think they maybe want to make a movie or some anime, and by putting this franchise everywhere, they could get more recognition for Helldivers if they don't think PC and PlayStation's enough, and they think that 35 million over on Xbox is going to increase their audience. It's just, I don't understand. Like, I could make a logical understanding for the Switch. That install base was huge. PC install base is huge. Time to develop for a dying console. You can't even buy the console in Europe. You can't even buy the console.
You're my number one
The
customer.
Xbox console is the most expensive console. Like, this is the worst time to make a console Xbox game. The console is overpriced. It is hard to find. They're not reinstall. Like, why? I don't know. I don't know who made up this logic, but I'm going to tell you one thing. What I say when Sony FAFO, I believe exclusives matter, right? And I'm not one to be like, oh, nanny, nanny, boo, boo. You got our exclusives. They're ours. They're not yours. But let me tell you something. Like I talk about Xbox and its logic, you're going to see if they continue doing these weird ass things, Hitoki's going to be sitting there with his hand on his chin going, well, the PlayStation 6 is not selling as fast as the PS5 or the PS4. It seems that there's a slower uptick in PlayStation sales. What are we doing about this, guys? And you just want to take Hitoki, smack him in the head and go, you fucking idiot. You spent the whole PlayStation 5 generation letting people know that they could get your identity, your IP on other devices. They're not going to be so quick to run to your next console. And you may see a slowdown because people know, well, I'm not a huge diehard fan of this. I'll wait. And now the urgency to pick up your hardware where it used to be the only way to play will slow down. Thank you, Aaron. That's why the Switch, the fastest selling console of all time. The only place to get those games. The urgency, the necessity, the need to upgrade. This is the problem that you're going to create. You continue to fly too close to the sun. I don't want to hear your stupid Hitokiness when you're trying to sell more hardware. Go, we weren't expecting this. Why is nobody buying a PlayStation at the 6 at the rate that they were buying the previous one? Well, you fucking spent the whole generation putting Spider-Man all over the fucking place. Now people go, well, PlayStation's not the only home for Spider-Man. And this is what I mean, what happens. And I hate these stupid corporations that sit here and make idiotic decisions and don't think about what the ramifications are because they think they're immune to it and they could just buy their way out of it, or people will just do it. And you see what happened to Xbox. They thought they could just glaze the shit out of people for a generation with no games, telling people to go elsewhere, and they did. And they didn't buy the games. And now they're up shit's creek without a paddle. And they got a booty in with them, shitting up the place even more. That's why I say Sony, PlayStation, FAFO. You want to make decisions like this. That's great. More people to play Helldive is great. Finding a game was never a problem. You want to make a buck, because that's what this is. There are a lot of other ways to make a buck and still hang on to what you make. Because once you start putting everything everywhere, you're fucking nowhere. And that's just the nature of business. Once you start putting gray dots and dots in exclusivity, especially with your own IP, now you create narratives. Now you create pathways. Now, when that person's about to click on that PlayStation button to pre-order the next console, when that person's ready to get rid of that Xbox because Phil just pissed them off, You just gave them a reason to keep their Xbox. And of all weeks, like, it's a head scratcher. And I just find that Sony seems to do this all the time. Just when Xbox is down and out, either Sony or PlayStation do something stupid, or they do something stupid. That's like, dude, Phil Spencer's hanging on the fucking rope by one finger right now. They're burning down his house. He's on the ropes. All you got to do is blow on him. And he's out of the ring. And you just rolled out a hand going, Phil, get back in the ring. We still want to punch you some more. I don't know. It's just a head scratcher. Just let him burn. Let him go. What are you, like, who's wasting Nixus's time? We're excited to bring Helldivers to 35 million people. Really? You need that there? Like it's not in Game Pass. It's not Xbox Play Anywhere, because that's the other thing I thought. I thought maybe it's an Xbox Play Anywhere, and Microsoft is using this as a bridge. Oh, look, if you get rid of the console, because Microsoft, I think, is really pushing Play Anywhere, because they want to make sure that the libraries that people are buying now work on PC when they make the transition. And I think, yeah, see, Lunchi says, like, he's thinking, like, dude, they got everybody on lock, but you never know, dude. You know? Lunchi, listen, man, we saw the 360 before Connect had everything on lock. Man, we saw the 360 cruising into the Xbox One generation, man. I remember sitting there. Aaron says 35 million strong. Oh, shit. Hey, Ron, go play your Switch, too. Get out of here. I'm not playing your sound clip anymore. Go play your Switch. But what I'm saying is like, the 360, you know, look how quickly that shit turned around. When they had Xbox Live, they had all your digital library. Like, you were just going in, man. Like, you were just like, yo. And they just destroyed it, dude. None of these companies are immune to anything, dude. I'm sure they would, Josh. Who knows? Aaron's now AA-Rog. AA-Rog. Where are you, AA-Rog? But again, just the time. Like, I just think when you look at, like, development cost and time, really, I just want to know who went to Nixus and said, it's not even, like, it was Nixus. It wasn't even Arrowhead. Like, hey, Arrowhead, you go make the Xbox port. No, they're like, you keep working on your game. We'll use Nixus to make the Xbox port. Like, whoa, really? Like, really? But it's crazy. Hey, A-Rog is a dope name. What's up, the Cool 1985? How you doing, man? And maybe it didn't take a lot of time. But it's just so straight. It's just such a head scratcher, because somebody said you don't feed the roaches. Like you that is there. Like, I could see, like I said, the other install bases. I just can't see this. I just think that it's like, what are you doing here? It's not like Microsoft doesn't even care about their Xbox hardware install base. Like, what are you doing? And also, too, the messaging, like this week, was like, Xbox is canceling. We're going to talk about what they canceled Perfect Dark. They canceled they shut down half of the Forza studio. They canceled a whole bunch of projects. Like, they're killing all their games. They're shipping all their games on other platforms. Like, they are calling the future of their gaming Windows. Nobody's, you know, Wukong finally got announced. Like, people were skipping Xbox left and right. Capcom doesn't even report the numbers of Xbox games that are being sold on their platform. And you waste Nixus's time to go put Helldivers 2 on a dying. Like, it's just weird. It's like the Dreamcast going, yeah, we're done making hardware. And Sony said, well, wait a second. Whoa, hold on. I got a game for you. It's like, what? Hitoki. I mean, I'm sure this was in development before, but the writing has been on the wall for years. Like, there's no growth in the Xbox console. I don't know who said, let's put this over there. Unless Arrowhead made a kicking and screaming. I don't know. But it's definitely strange. And it's something to keep an eye on. Because, seriously, if Sony thinks, like, they're just going to stop putting their games on Xbox at the dying console, like, dude, are you trying to create competition for yourself? I don't know. But it is goofy. It's really goofy. And just looking at the logic and install base, it makes no sense. Nobody's feeding the lowest. Like, if you are leading, you're not, like, unless this is a donation or something, a tax write-off. I don't know what the hell you're doing. Because it makes no friggin' sense. It's a great game. And, you know, Xbox guys, it's right up your alley. If you're going to buy it for $40. But, like, it doesn't support Play Anywhere, so you don't get the Xbox PC version. You don't get the PC version. And it's not in Game Pass. So it's not an installment play. It is a money-making play. And I don't know, man. There's some bullshit going down. I don't know. But it's something to keep an eye on. Because if Sony's going to keep doing goofy shit like this, like, when's the Nexus going to go? Spider-Man's coming to Xbox. It's like, are you, like, whoa, what do we do? Like, is this what's going on? Because now, who knows? If they're looking at games in their library now, they put them on PC, and now they're like, hey, put these games on Xbox to sell $1. Put Spider-Man on Xbox. And that's the thing to look. This is not PC. This is Sony Studio published game making an Xbox one. Not Xbox PC, Xbox.
Where that box is in the name of our brand.
This could be something of interest moving over. This could be. And again, Sony, FAFO. Like, Xbox is on the ropes. They can't even sustain themselves. If you're going to be the only one making your games on their console, like, I don't know what the logic is. I don't know if you're trying to be a refugee or some shit like that. Like, are you trying to, like, say, hey, guys, you know, here's Spider-Man 1 and 2. You're going to love Spider-Man 3 on PlayStation. Like, are you trying to like, get refugees from there?
You're my #1 customer.
Like, is that what this is? Like, oh, yeah, well, as you leave an Xbox, why don't you take interest in some of our games and consider buying a PlayStation? I don't know. And then with Forza not being around, we'll talk about Forza GT. Who the hell knows? But see, Advocate says Spider-Man, the token fighting game? Yeah, right? Who says that they don't have token that Marvel fighting game go on the Xbox? This is so strange, man. Because I just don't get it. The writing is on the friggin' wall. And I saw Detective Seeds saying that his contact at Nixis said there's no other games in development. But you want to know what? This is the problem that happens. You get one. Why would it be only one game? We saw Phil Spencer say just 4. We saw what they did with PC. Oh, it's just Days Gone, because, you know, it didn't sell that well. Days Gone's our first PC game. And look what happened. Now, within 2 years, here comes the games. We're going to be probably waiting for Astrobot next, coming to PC. And who knows, dude? Yeah, right? I don't know. My sources tell you this, but you want to know what? It's never just one. It reminds me, I don't know anybody that lives, the sugar ants. You know those ants? The little sugar ants. It's never just one. You see one sugar ant, and you know that there's a whole shitload of coming along. You know that. This is just one sugar ant. You're like, yo, there's never just one. Here come the other fuckers coming in through the door. A whole chain of them. You know it's never just one sugar ant. Those little ants. You know, well, I see one of them. I know that's it. I got to kill them all. The whole hive's done. Why would Nixus just make one Xbox game? Whoop. Fuck out of here. Toki's a dumbass. Stupid ass. And you reap what you sow, you fucking idiots over at PlayStation. So go ahead. Keep doing it and see what happens to your hardware, to your sales, and then go, we weren't expecting this. Why is nobody buying our PlayStation? What happened? Well, they learned that they could get the sugar from somebody else's house. And you did it to yourself. So, you want a FAFO? Go ahead. Enjoy, you dumbasses, for the extra bucks. You want to keep feeding the roaches. You want to keep just 30. Who? Keep going. But it's never just one. So I'm going to tell you right now, if all you people going like, oh, this is just one, this was just a back-end deal, somebody grabbed somebody's ass. Listen, it's never just one. And the fact that they're taking time away to put shit on Xbox when everybody's skipping it because it's such a low install base and it's not selling. Somebody was drunk one night when this shit happened, because I don't understand who feeds the bottom. I don't understand that. I could think about 5 million other things that Nixus could do that would sell. Remaster Dreams, put it on PS5, put it on PC, make it so that people on PC could create games and Dreams. Media Molecule ain't doing shit. Have them port over goddamn multiplayer of Uncharted 4 to PS5 with the adaptive controller and charge $30 for it and add some content to it. There's a million things that they could have done. But to waste Nixus's time to develop something for the lowest install base and they're not buying games, it makes no sense. They're smoking the blue strand. I know. I was like, huh? And then to announce it a week when Xbox is just like cooked. I don't get it. I will play Dreams, JC. But think about it. If they put Dreams on PC with the mouse and keyboard control, those people could use it to make games, even support VR2, because Dreams doesn't support VR2. It did VR1, didn't do VR2. Have them at least do VR2. Dreams remade, Dreams remastered. Dude, there was some really cool things with music and with the DualSense that they could do with the adaptive triggers in Dreams. They never made a PS5 version of Dreams. With the adaptive triggers, it runs at 60 frames. But it should have been one of the first games they put on PC. Have them make the games with the keyboard and mouse. And with the VR on PC too, VR2, make it one of the first games that use the PS VR2 on PC to make incredible VR experiences that we could play on console. $10 upgrade, you're welcome. Dreams on PC, Dreams on PS5 with the DualSense. Fucking Spico be yelling at you in some games, scaring the shit out of you. Adaptive triggers fighting back. People could do crazy stuff in Dreams. Nixus, get to work. Don't make this for Xbox.
Where that box is in the name of our brand.
Like really? Or have them port over. Have Nixus port over some goddamn PS3 games to the PS5. I don't know. There's a billion other things that I could think a game studio, a porting studio could be doing. But making Helldivers 2 that sold an astronomical, has a huge install base, and having it being ported over to Xbox for 35 million people that don't buy games and want it in Game Pass. You can't even buy the console. The console's now overpriced at $700, $730. Good luck, you dumbasses, over at PlayStation. The logic, it doesn't make sense. I don't know, unless somebody in the chat or in the comments could explain to me. But I thought this was the stupidest thing. This is like the dumbass move of the month. This is a Phil Spencer head slap. I'm like, what? Who thought this was a good idea? Remaster Bloodborne, C-Fresh. Exactly. Keep listing them. There's 5 billion things. If Nixus needs work, I'll give them 5 projects that they could be doing right now. And none of that shit will be done. A remaster of Bloodborne. Port over some PlayStation 2 games to the PS5. Port Dreams over to PC and add PS5 support. Tons of things. And none of that stuff creates a narrative or creates a head-scratching moment. Why what is the purpose of this? It just, and nonetheless, August. Oh yeah, come out in August. We already said Gears coming out in August. There's so many fucking games coming out in September and August and October. You're throwing this out there on August 26th? Dude, let that shit come out now in the middle of the dead summer. July friggin' the 15th. That's when Helldivers comes to Xbox. You don't put it at August. What the stupid. Stupid. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, here comes all the holiday games coming out and Madden and all these fucking games and NHL. All these games coming out. Oh, we're going to put it out now. See? Almento said, I think I'll just buy my games on Steam now, to be honest. Get a Steam Deck. Right? The fuck? They start to create those alternative dotted lines. I don't know why. Now, who knows? Nixus might have another announcement 6 months from now. Spider-Man coming to Xbox. Dude, what? And people saying, well, and one other thing I wanted to address about this. Relaunch Sunset Overdrive. The grinders are coming up with so many other things, and none of that stuff is a head scratcher. None of that stuff. That makes sense. Relaunch, Andre says, relaunch Sunset Overdrive. Put over a campaign. SSJ says Sony Games as a Service push. Dude. For what? I don't get it. They actually took MLB out of Game Pass. Corey says support all the Sony fanboys going to PC. My thing is, another thing that I want to address concerning the PC, right? Another thing is that, and shout out to the 250 people, you hit that like button. Because one thing I wanted to say, a blog post or a live stream, right, Drep, right? But one thing I want to tell you, this whole like Sony does not consider PC competition. Well, let me tell you something. Because I heard that too. Oh, Sony don't consider a PC competition. They said it themselves. Again, Hotokiness. I'm going to tell you right now, a PC, gaming PC in the living room is competition for the PlayStation. All right? There you go. A gaming PC in the living room is competition for PlayStation. And if these dopey bastards don't realize that their IP is what separates them from PC, they are going to fly too close to the sun. Because a gaming PC that could play everything in the living room is competition to a PlayStation, especially the prices of the PlayStation. You get an F700, 800. A PC not too far away. We're not talking $400 and $300 consoles anymore. You're talking $600, $700, $800. We're a couple of hundred away from a PC that could play a game or two. And if they have anything like these small PCs that could play games and could do anything, that is competition. And these dopey bastards are going to realize that they just shit in their own pants by putting their IP on PC, because now in this whole world, just like that glazing shit last week, them putting their IP on PC has now turned into this handheld thing, because that's another thing. Your ROG Allies, your Legion Goes, all of those are competition for a potential Sony handheld. Your PlayStation handheld will have competition with all those other devices. Why? Because now your games, your IP is also playable on those devices. So unless the people need a Spider-Man 3, they may be fine of just getting their Spider-Man fix with the Steam sale of Spider-Man 1 and 2 and not go buy your console or buy your handheld. So all this PC shit is now coming back because now they're trying to consolify PC, and you fucking dopes have been feeding the PC beast with your IP. And now the PC is trying to become consolified with the Steam Deck, with Steam OS, with whatever Microsoft and Windows are doing. And they are consolifying PC, and they are more than direct competitors with PlayStation. So Hitoki and dopey fuck Herman, wise up, or you're going to be Sony FA-FO.
You gon' learn the hard way. Hit greenness, better watch out when you fly too close to the sun. Just ask Phil, he got permanent tan lines on his ass.
And it's exactly like the first said. Factor in PlayStation Plus online paying to play Helldivers 2 versus PC. We're already on dotted lines there. So keep, just like even the Marvel fighting game. Oh, PC will get it for $60, $70 and play online for free. And you got to be subscribed for $80 a year to play yours online. And also have free cloud saves between all their devices of Steam, PC, Steam OS, Steam handhelds. Yeah, keep thinking, Sony. The customer will find a way. They find the easiest way, the desired path. We're not as stupid as you think we are. Just ask Xbox. We're not that dumb. And now all the shit you're doing is going to catch up to you. So you better either wise up or you're going to FAFO. And then you'll be wondering, sitting at your little investor meetings with the white table around you going, why are people not buying PlayStations? The sales are down on the hardware. I guess the 6 is the... Yeah, why? You just told people they could get ice cream from somewhere else. And they could do it, and they could get it for less cost and have more variety and more options. Just look at what Xbox did. They told people to go to PC and play, and they never came back. They're like, this is wonderful. Thanks, Microsoft. I get my cake and eat it too. Sony, you are inches away from that scenario. So, and this is just a bonehead move. I don't know what the hell this does. All this does is create more commotion and more stupidness. But I still don't think it's one game. We're going to be surprised. And if Sony's the one that's giving lifelines out to a dying Xbox console, shit, that's going to be news for another day. But that is insane. That's a book that I never thought would happen. Because I'm like, what business sense do you make a game for the lowest install base? Who knows? But they better wise up soon. They better wise up soon. Sony underestimating just the tip factors this way, man. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. Like it is a strange move. Like I never thought that they would waste time and resources to do that. And Nintendo's going crazy too. Talk about competition, right? Talking about competition. So now we come to the real man. If you thought that was roasting, and hit that like button. And again, I like to know everybody's been. If you, you know, that Helldivers thing is different. Herman! There's some, and then to think that they sat around on that fireside chat. He's like, I'm going to look at games and see what ones will maybe great for the brand. It's like, dude, you're sitting there talking about great for PlayStation, and you got Nixus in the background. Dude, Herman, you glazing our asses, man. You look at PlayStation and look at the quality of games that we're making on PlayStation. It's about the brand and loyalty. And we will look at some games here and there that we may do on devices to see how they do and just take a little dip and to check out what we're going to do. And meanwhile, Herman's sitting there with that fireside chat. And he knows that Nixus is making a game for Xbox. Herman! Dopey ass. Iconic Games with the 5 VIPs in the house. Thank you so much, Iconic Games. Appreciate it, man. Hit those 5 VIPs. Where are we now? I gotta see where we are. But yeah, so freaking. Oh yeah, he took us over. Nice. We're at 95. Yoo-hoo. I got some good songs for you. No, then that's the thing. And that's one thing before we close this topic here. Nightfire says, I understand what you're saying and agree, but just don't think the sky's falling. I do think Herman needs to go. His days are numbered. And yeah, one of the things I do want to point out is that I'm not saying that the PlayStation it's over. The sky is falling. Don't get a PlayStation. Don't buy one. You don't need one. No. As long as they still prioritize the console and the features and things like that, I think they are okay. But the buffer is getting smaller and smaller with some of the moves that they're making. Again, it's not the end of the world. This is not like it's over, sell your PlayStations. As some of the people say, I'm canceling PlayStation Plus. You know, I don't think it's there yet. But it's definitely a cause for like a head turner going, huh? If you're willing to waste your studio's time to put stuff on such a small install base to make a buck, then what are we doing? Exactly. Death Stranding 2 comes out, goes to Yotai. There's a balance there. But it is definitely strange. And definitely something that I don't think is a one-off that's never going to happen. I think it's just weird. And I think maybe they want to do something with Helldivers. Maybe they'll announce an anime or some movie, and basically that's why they want to get this IP to as many people as possible to kind of attract an audience because they want to do something with Helldivers. I would love to see a movie of Helldivers or a friggin' anime. That'd be awesome. But maybe that's what they want to do. They want to do something with the Helldivers IP, so they're like put it everywhere. I don't know. But I'm not here to making decisions. I just know what I see. Again, I could predict what I think may happen, but I don't know. But all I know is that it is really bonehead, weird, strange move. And that's all I can think. It's just like, huh? And that's the only thing that I can think of. Oh, dude, did they? Holy shit. Josh, thank you. They did announce a Helldivers movie in January. Maybe. Yeah, again, I don't, yeah. Like, there's a balance here. Like, see, like, in all honesty, again, like, I said, this is going to be a long show, but, like, in all honesty, the thing is, the problem that I always had with Xbox situation, why it bothered me so much, was that they didn't have balance. It wasn't like, if they were putting out great games that we were playing, I'll get to the super chats. I missed some. I'll go back, Gordo. But like, I just want to explain the logic of how I feel with the situation. Like, they had years of no games and just waiting for E3 and doing this stuff and lapse of time of like, what are they doing? And at the same time, they were doing this kind of bullshit. putting games on PC, telling us to wait, doing this shit. And it was just like, you're doing all this other stuff, but you're not making games and releasing them and supporting your hardware. And this generation's dying left and right. You're talking about more hardware, and they weren't making games. So your threshold of listening to them is like, yo, what are you doing? With PlayStation situation, the threshold is much larger because they are putting out exclusive games of quality, game of the year, incredible experiences. We're just playing Death Stranding 2, incredible. They got a whole bunch of games coming up. Ghost of Yotai, the Lost Soul Side in the future, Phantom Blade Zero. Like, they're making exclusive deals and partnerships and putting out games that support their hardware and support their branding. And they're able to make some movies, and they're able to put games day one in a service without compromising quality. They're able to do multifaceted things, but some of the moves they're making, and that's why some of the fallacies that they had, like Concord and things like that, they're black eyes and blemishes, but they're not long lasting. And as obvious, because they're able to cushion that with quality games and providing exclusive content to their platform. But if that dries up and they're doing all this bullshit in the background, they're going to be in the same pathway as what Xbox was. See, Xbox couldn't cover it up. They were exposed, man. They had no games. They had no exclusives, no second party deals. And basically it was just a waste of time. So they are doing that. But again, it gets smaller and smaller. And some people do have their limits. Some people do have their, like, yo, no exclusives. They don't have that bandwagon exclusive thing anymore, and they're gonna go crazy. Now let me get to the super chats. Gordo's yelling at me. I got you, Gordo. All right. Glazes popped off. Easy tone with the 2. He goes, Xbox, say it to everyone. Dead man walking. Oh, where's our transition? I got you, Easy Tone. Dead man walking, right? Where is it? Oh, where is she? Frost is gone, man. She's in a bunker somewhere. Astrobot, exactly, Don John. Like, Astrobot was a perfect example how you take away the negativity of Concord and fix it with Astrobot. Astrobot is awesome. Gordo Pete, and I love that they keep doing content for it. Gordo with the 5. He goes, if the next Xbox is a PC, why would they chase players that we're already going to get when Xbox moves all their players to PC? Makes no sense. And that's another good point, because Gordo, I thought the same thing. I was like, if Xbox is saying their future is Windows, Helldivers 2 is already on Windows. So if people are moving to Windows, Helldivers 2 is already there. Again, it makes no sense that they would have specifically developed for the Xbox consoles. I don't know. Some weird shit going down. I don't know. But it does not make sense. You're right, Gordo. I thought the same thing. Thank you for that point. Because that was another one that I was thinking about. Because people are saying like, oh, well, you know, this is, like, it's already on PC. And if the future of Xbox is Windows PC, then Helldivers is right there to greet them. So I thought the same thing, Gordo. Thank you for that. And Gordo follows it up with another 5. He goes, if it was about install base, then they would just put it on the Switch. Amen to that too. Dude, that's another good point. Man, Gordo, thank you. I'm glad I got to those super chats. But that's another good point. If they wanted Helldivers 2 to blow up, I would have Nixus work on a Switch 2 port. Or a Switch 1 and 2. That makes sense. Switch 2 maybe not, but Switch 2 is growing big, man. And it just gets bigger and bigger. So if I made a Switch 2 version of Helldivers 2, hell yeah. That's where I can get to 35 million before Xbox gets out of it. But yeah. Exactly, Doth. She said that the Windows, not Xbox. But those are great points, Gordo. That's exactly. Well, thank you again for those. But yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. I'm like, if it's about install base and selling, man, put it on the Switch. But shooters don't sell Switch. I know. Well, there you go. Boca Luca says shooters don't sell, so he's squashing that deal. The people and then Boca, people don't buy games on Xbox. So this whole thing's weird. It's a strange thing. Exactly. So Nightfire says, I would bet good money it has to do with Arrowhead getting the investment from Tencent. Because even I said the Switch 2 so you think maybe like Arrowhead got some money funding and they said, hey, Sony, here's some money. Nixon, can you make this happen? We want to get this on Xbox. Because Arrowhead did make it a point that they wanted to put it on Xbox, but it was a Sony IP. Because I remember Arrowhead doing a couple of tweets about that, especially how proud they were about their next self-funded game. And they're small, very small studios. So I think they probably, how those small studios hunger for as much exposure as possible. And they probably think that this game would do well on Xbox, being like a shooter box, and that it's like a remnant of Halo and things like that. I've joked about it too, playing it, saying like, dude, this could have been what ODST could have been. So it could be, you're right, it could be something like that. Like, again, we could come up with all different logical things, but for the face value of it, it definitely is a head scratcher. It really is. And I wish there was more explanation as to how this happened. That's where we would hope journalists would get involved, but our journalists in gaming suck ass. They'd rather be the clown news instead of reporting on the news. But that's where you would get a gaming journalist, Nightfire, and somebody will tell you how this deal occurred, because it's a very unorthodox situation. Sony publishing a game on Xbox, not through MLB. This is something that somebody would be like, yo, as a game journalist, let me figure out how this went down. Because this is unique. But we don't have game journalists. We got a bunch of clowns. So, in the real journalist world, we will find out about it. But we're not going to find out about it. Instead, we'll have Dusty Bin selling cookies and making all those cookies and doing dumb things. And saying, like, I'm probably not going to get an update, but I'm just going to ask anyway. Because, we know Dusty Bin. This is our journalism.
Dusty Bin said, why did he leave? Again to cap for Xbox and B-Glaze. And now he is out buying PS5 Pro. Time to make the cookies. Accounting to cap for Xbox and B-Glaze. And now he
oatmeal raisin, chocolate chip baby, cookie time.
Time to make the cookies.
Oh yeah.
I don't wanna
Oreos. Oh yeah.
I don't wanna act you wet. I don't wanna make you cry.
Oatmeal raisin, baby.
I just had a day you said.
Xbox Cookie Monster, ladies and
I don't
gentlemen.
wanna be your player.
Those are our journals right there. Actually, you know what? I do have a tune because now, if you remember last week, so let's get to cooking. Take a drink if you have an alcoholic drink. I'm taking a drink here. Candles up, Gordo. That's right. We were at the 2-hour mark. And now, if you thought that was wild before, I got some news for you. Gaming Grindhouse, exclusive music grinders. You like it? Hit that VIP button. Hit that Ultimate Grinder button for all the songs in a playlist. I get them out as much as I can. I got to put them in the playlist. I promise you, VIP Ultimates, I'm getting it to you. I'll get it to you. I was on vacation. I'll get these in a playlist for you. But the Ultimates get the playlists. But VIPs get access to some of these. But here you go. Take a puff. That's right. That's what Lucci says. So, while I was away, those massive layoffs. And remember I told you last week where I said how that whole like look at me launching a game from the Xbox app was like a deflection. It was all like they were all getting excited and nipples were getting hard. They were getting giddy journalists and look, I like it launches Spider-Man. And they were all like getting happy, and Dusty Bin was clapping his cookies, flour all over the place like the Swedish chef. And he was all like, look, they're all upset and all that other stuff. And then what happened, Laura Fryer came out, and then that ruined Dusty Bin and Tom Warren's parade. And then Xbox went nuclear, as Nightfire said. And we have a new song, Grinders. I think you're going to want to hear this one. just to know, like, you know, since we do have clowns in the gaming industry in our journalists, I definitely I create a special song for them. This is a really good one, Grinders. This is going to kick us off for Xbox Sucks Again, which is the song you're going to get tonight because we hit our goal of super chats, so keep them coming. And we're ready to cook up VIPs. I got songs for you, so you're going to be ready. If you stay, you're going to hear some awesome bangers that you're going to probably want to listen over and over again. But I got one right here, the Dusty Bin one, just about the chaos that went on with them going after people right before Xbox went nuclear, of firing and shutting down studios, how hard they went on people that disagreed with them and Xbox hardware. Dusty Bin and Tom Warren, the clownery that you guys show, you get a song, a new one. Dusty Bin going for a friggin' A track he got, and now here's his B track. Hit it with the music, baby!
Dusty Bin and Tom Warren fighting Laura Fryer, but she cooking them both as these clowns do not know where to go. This is not an Xbox, these are clowns.
Dusty Bin. Dusty Bin. Dusty Bin. Dusty Bin. Oh man, we're gonna have some fun here, man. Yeah, I don't know who put this. Gamer for life put these things out there. I was cracking up during the ABA. During the ABK closing, and then after. That's some funny shit. Dusty Man. Everybody with me. Dusty Man.
Dusty Bin and Tom Warren fighting Laura Fryer, but she cooking them both as these clowns do not know where to go. This is not an Xbox, these are clowns.
Oh yeah. That's what I say. You see that shit, you just laugh and move on, man. Make some music. Dusty Man. So anyway. So remember when I told you the week before, so like when they were all like going excited about like, oh yeah, like all this stuff about you could launch games from the Xbox app and they're all like laughing and stuff, and then Laura Fryer cooked them and then they go upset. And they were alluding to these layoffs this past week, and they hit Xbox hard. That all of them who were glazing the hell out of Xbox last week, or 2 weeks ago, were like, Xbox can't be trusted. We can't go. Nightfire says his sides are hurt. I'm laughing. Anyway, hopefully everybody enjoys the content, man. Hit that like button. Because this bothers me, man. So one of the big things of these layoffs that happened, so there were a couple. One was that they really gutted Turn 10. Turn 10, who made Forza Motorsport, got gutted. That they became like a support studio now for like Forza Tech. And Forza Motorsport was pretty much gutted and done. They also canceled some ZeniMax projects. There was an online MMO that was going, shut them down, got rid of that, canceled that game as one of them, and other ones, unannounced projects as well. There's another one we're going to talk about, the developer who they met the day before and pulled it. But one of the biggest things that stood out, ones that we've been talking about for years, one of my favorite franchises, in Perfect Dark, they shut down the initiative. Once a quadruple A, then Drew Murray left and went for Spider-Man 2, and then David Gallagher kept the studio open. There was a lot of mismanagement over at the initiative. The initiative didn't have anything going on with their management because they had issues with what they were going to be an indie studio. They were going to make a AAA game, and there was a lot of top-down issues. And they had a mass exodus about a couple of years ago, or a year or so ago, of a lot of the people from the initiative. And it was gutted, restructured, and now we found out this past week the initiative is no more. They got rid of them. Their Santa Monica studio that they built, that they went to show. If you remember, we covered this so many times about the initiative's website acting strange. I don't even know if they're still there. Like a website never even... Let me see if it's still there. I don't know. The website just looked up, like it looked like, yeah, it's still there. So this is their website here. Like their website looks so, here it is. They still got their website going. And you click on their studio and I was just like, you hit play trailer. Look. This is when they announced Perfect Dark in 2020. It was a CGI. Yet again. In-game assets.
This is just the beginning.
And then this was it. They showed like their coffee area. That was it. 2 microwaves and coffee room. And this was like, look, like I was like, what kind of website is this for a quadruple A developer? Their studio website looked horrible. Like it was just that trailer. They didn't even put the new gameplay trailer up there that they showed last year. It was the announced trailer from 2020. And then learn about our studio, and it's like two sentences. Like 2 little paragraphs. We're a Santa Monica-based game development studio reimagining Perfect Dark. We are in a unique position to operate as an independent studio under the banner and backing of Xbox Game Studios and Microsoft. Our ambition to groundbreaking high-quality games leave an impact. We believe that people are the most important to look to innovate. That they had all, and this was Microsoft's attempt to create a studio from scratch and make a game. And they failed that. The studio was announced in 2018 with David Gallagher and Drew Murray at the helm, and it was mismanaged and wasn't announced until 2020, 2 years later from being created, that Perfect Dark was their game. And then it took from 2020 to 2024 in order for us to see Perfect Dark, supposedly, gameplay. Not in Spanish. (2024). Let's see what they say. Earth has been struck. Blah, blah, blah. Who's here after it got canceled? And they show this. And yet again, you want to believe Xbox when they're sitting there, legs crossed, typing up, oh yeah, and if you remember, grinders, we're gonna roast their ass, because remember this. First off, if you remember this, dude, years, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what Phil was doing here, but before we even get to the gameplay, look at this. Phil Gloria Spencer. Great time at the studio playing and talking to the team. Thanks for the opportunity to play at the initiative. Drew Murray in February 5th, 2020. We're fortunate to have Phil visit the initiative yesterday to tour our new studio and talk about where Xbox is heading. And most importantly, he got his hands on the sticks and experienced the new game in action. And then 6 months later, Drew Murray left. Game never came out. What was Phil playing? And what was Phil doing? Talk about where Xbox is heading. Phil, what do you mean where Xbox is heading? And where's Matt Booty in all this? Where's Booty Cheeks? Then, he was playing Pong. Dude, he was playing PlayStation games. He was playing Spider-Man 2. He was playing Spider-Man 2. Not a damn thing he's playing. But then we have... If you remember this critique here. Where's Shaggy? Shaggy. It was IGN Live. The same one when he was talking about Call of Duty. Right? This one. Let's get to the part where he talks about Perfect Dark. Because that's Ryan McCaffrey's favorite game.
We actually might hear something from you. I mean, you had a great show. I'm not complaining. But I thought, well, there's something that's been rumored, that's been talked about. We talked about on the pre-show. There was a big reaction.
No, not this one. I don't want the clip of it. Here it is, the full one. The full glaze. I want the full glaze.
I said, right, for me, of all the great stuff from today, stole the show for me was something I wasn't expecting to see today again, which was Perfect Dark.
I knew you were going to say that.
Perfect Dark.
Oh!
A first-person...
Uh-oh. Wait, before we even go, Grinders, put it in the chat. You know what's coming. You know what's coming.
Xbox Glaze.
Get ready.
Xbox Discord to spread PlayStation 4.
You know what's coming. I'm going to tell you what's coming right now. It's coming. Look, we found them in the crowd. We found them. Grinders, I found them. Here he is. Right in the middle. The glaze is real. Go, 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 glaze. Look at him right there. We found them.
Spy SB.
We found them. We found them. There it was. Perfect glaze. There it was.
Honestly, like, until our fans, the customers,
The beginning of the year kind of thing.
That's
right?
right.
It's crazy. So I'm curious, at
Get
what
ready.
point do you, with this one this year, do you get a feeling that, oh, this one's looking pretty good?
yeah, you know.
Don't be humble. Just tell us the real answer here.
Honestly, like, until our fans, the customers, you guys give us the feedback. Like Aaron Greenberg and I were talking about this 2 weeks ago. Now, the thing that probably hit me the most was obviously just the passion of the teams of putting their amazing work on stage and seeing so many teams do great work. But it was based, I'd say 2 months ago, when I just looked at the kind of scale of the franchises, how much work the teams were doing to show up the way they did, and the partners that we had in the show. Like, I was in awe of this show.
There's a couple games I want to ask you about specifically before we'll talk about some other stuff too, but the one that I said, right, for me, of all the great stuff from today, stole the show for me was something I wasn't expecting to see today again, which was Perfect Dark.
I knew you were going to say that.
Perfect Dark.
Uh-oh.
A first-person spy espionage, some parkour, a little Mirror's Edge in there, which I love.
All playable, like all in-game. Somebody.
And that game's been cooking for...
There's the Phil Ness face.
Another one.
There he is. All in-game. We see in-game. I'm playing it. Oh, really, Phil? We haven't seen the game in 5 years. Let's see what it said. What did it say when we watched the game? In-game footage and cinematics, Phil. But you see the Phil Ness? In-game footage and cinematics, it said. What did Phil have to do? He had to lick his lips. What did he have to do? He had to...
Number one customer.
What was that, Phil?
Yeah.
Somebody.
And that game's been a first from...
Playable, like all in-game.
Yeah.
And this is where when I went through this video last year, Glynn's with the 2, he goes, Phil's the OG, original glazer. That's right, original glazer. It's the source of all glazing. When I went through this video, I said, Mario McCaffrey was reading from the thing. Phil Spencer goes, that's all in-game and stuff. If Ryan McCaffrey was so hyped for Perfect Dark, wouldn't you elaborate on that? Oh, so that was in-game? So you played that? Instead, Ryan McCaffrey turns Phil off to continue his Zoinks interview from the computer.
Like Zoinks.
This is what I said. Like, it was never made sense.
All playable, like all in-game.
Yeah.
Somebody.
And that game's been cooking for a long time.
Wait, Phil just said all playable in-game. Ryan McCaffrey, that game's been cooking. No, you elaborate. Well, wait a second, Phil. Wait, you played it? That's in-game? That's what it looks like? How's it running? What does it feel like? Nope. He's just like
Zoinks.
Look at his question. He interrupted
We
him.
followed
the partners at Crystal have been doing amazing work there.
Yeah, Crystal was brought in to help it keep going. So what has it been like for you to kind of follow the very long trajectory of that game from...
Shaggy fucking knew. He just said he played the game and that's in-game, he said. Why are you not following up with the question? Why? This is what I mean. These are why they don't push this man to tell exactly what these games are. They glaze his ass. They give him the marketing. And Crystal Dynamics is co-developing. Fucking Shaggy. Shaggy, what the fuck you doing? It's a shitty-ass interview, Shaggy. Give me a fucking Scooby snack. What the fuck you doing? Think Scooby-Doo's cursing. This is what I mean. He played the game. Follow up with his ass. Nope.
You know, that started with Daryl Gallagher starting a studio. And
just
now,
down the street.
Yeah, and now we're finally here like...
Just down the street. Oh, why isn't Daryl Gallagher here to show his game? Just down the street. Phil is giving you all the answers here, and you could be roasting his ass. Oh, he's down the street. Why is he not here talking about why couldn't we see the game? Like David Gout, why couldn't he be here? Show it. I said the same thing last year.
So how has it been kind of getting to this point with Perfect Dark?
Yeah, you know, in parallel, building a studio while you're building a game and something that Perfect Dark back to N64 and obviously us with PDZ on 360. Like, there's just such anticipation for that game, and I really appreciate everybody's patience because we've been talking about this for a long time.
Since 2020. And it's he right there acknowledged the value of Perfect Dark. I even thought about just think about Perfect Dark going to a Nintendo Switch. The market that would come back to Perfect Dark going to Nintendo and Perfect Dark again. I always thought it was strange that Rare was never working on Perfect Dark, and Rare got gutted in this thing as well. Rare got the ultimate shaft. Everwild canceled. Rare now became a support studio for Sea of Thieves. That's all they're worth. That's all they're ever going to be. A support studio for Sea of Thieves. He is not making Rare do anything else but put maps and islands in Sea of Thieves. They are supporting the housefly that won't die. Exactly, Ryan. And we didn't see Perfect Dark at this showcase. All the initiative tweets stopped after the gameplay reveal. 2022, yeah. They didn't show gameplay and then like talk about it. Nope. Perfect. And Fable's the next one. Fable don't come out by this time next year. I think Fable will get next sticks. And look at Phil Spencer turning the interview around.
And like my team can verify this. When I saw it, I said, this is the one that Ryan's going to love. Because we know his love for Spy. And I said, this is the one. And just so proud of the team. And it really just came together so well. And I mean, a cool little story. Daryl had our other studio heads down at the studio just yesterday and walked through that same section in-game to show them, like, this is a game being played. And I love seeing our community of creators coming together that way.
Well,
so why didn't they show that to the public? Like, why didn't Daryl Gallagher show the game demoing there? Like, why is he just showing it to the team? Because it's not ready. That's why. Because what you saw in this video, what they showed was not him playing the game. This was in-game assets, probably recorded footage, and then re-rendered to look better and play better than what they were actually playing. And I wanted this game so bad. I love friggin' Perfect Dark. And the fact that this bullshit head, Phil Spencer, and Microsoft destroyed Rare from the inside out. No Viva Pinata, no Banjo-Kazooie, no Conker, and now no Perfect Dark. They could go fuck themselves. They're a piece of shit company. Phil Spencer's a piece of shit himself. They eat up this stuff and spit him out. They destroyed Rare. They destroyed them. They turned them into a Sea of Thieves island update bullshit and never used the IP that they got from Rare from all the way back then. And I wanted Perfect Dark back. Because Perfect Dark Zero was a Nintendo game that they just tried to put for the 360. We never had built from the ground up Perfect Dark. And this was all a lie. So much a lie that they canceled it. It's never going to happen. Never going to happen. They shut the studio down. They canceled this thing. They canceled Everwild. You're not getting a Viva Pinata. You're not getting a goddamn Banjo. You're not getting a Conker, which I was already fucking pissed about that. What Xbox has turned into is basically Activision. Just like how Activision turned all their studios, they made tons of games. They turned into a Call of Duty bitch fest. That's exactly what Microsoft is doing. They are trimming every fucking fat of any game that's worth a damn, and they are just going to become the studio of Call of Duty output every friggin' year and some bullshit games every year from ZeniMax and some horse shit stuff. All the innovation, anything that they acquired, anything they've done, they're going to slowly gut it and repurpose it. And that's what they're going to do. Because now they got Call of Duty to just carry them into whenever they decide to kill all this shit. After 5 years of waiting for gameplay, they show the gameplay and cancel it the next year and shut down the studio. Just think the potential that this franchise would have had on a Switch 2. Perfect Dark back on Nintendo. Perfect Dark shows up first time ever on PlayStation. Perfect Dark comes back to be the original game that we wanted it to be. Not a Nintendo port that was on the 360, but a real Perfect Dark that we deserve. Save the friggin' franchise. This was one of my favorite franchises. I stayed up all night and wanted Perfect Dark on the N64. I bought that game and a bottle of Visine, no joke. I bought a bottle of Visine with Perfect Dark because I knew I was going to be up all night playing that game. The original Perfect Dark on the N64 had counter ops where you could be single player and you could, all it needed was online. At the time, it was crazy. You could have another player be the enemy on the map, stopping you from your first player progress. And this is what they do. They nix this whole thing. They canceled Everwild, a new IP that looked like a bit of Viva Pinata. Done. You just make Sea of Thieves updates, Rare. That's all you're good for. And the initiative, Daryl Gallagher, using I remember Booty coming out there talking about how Crystal Dynamics partnership is new and that is a unique position that we're coming into and all this other shit, and it's a co-developed. I remember where was that piece of shit? Where's that? Where he did that? Then he talks about the Bootleg Avengers, Crystal Dynamics. Oh, because Daryl Gallagher has some relationships. It's such bullshit, man. Yeah. Thank you. Right here. Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, addresses the collaboration between the initiative and Crystal Dynamics and Perfect Dark Reboot, stating it was a positive development and not a sign of trouble. He emphasized that Crystal Dynamics, with its experience in AAA development and character-driven games, was a valued partner for the initiative. Booty clarified that Crystal Dynamics wasn't just involved in outsourcing assets, but was an equal partner in the development. He highlighted that the partnership was driven by personal connections and the desire to leverage Crystal Dynamics, especially when they worked on the same people now at the initiative. Because I remember he came out there and spun it around going, well, this partnership doesn't mean that there's an issue here. I just like, and then this is what he said. I got the quotes right here from what Phil was saying here. It's actually in-engine, McDonald said. I was one of the 3 level designers that worked on it. It worked best if you played it the way the person played in the video, but it still worked even if you didn't hit the marks perfectly. There's some fake stuff in it, he continued, and the real gameplay system shown off worked just enough to look good in this video. We were rapidly making real design decisions, so it was not knowingly lie to players about what the game will be. The parkour is real and the hacking is mostly real. The combat is real in someone that had to do the stuff in the video, but it's set up to be played exactly that way. Didn't play well if you played it a different way. Fake ass shit. So tell me again how Fable not being shown this year is real. And Phil Spencer came out there, or Ryan McCaffrey, and lied to your face. It's real. No, some of it is. It's actually in-engine. And it's a certain run through it that have some elements in it. Dude, the combat is, quote, real. In that someone had to really do that stuff in the video, but it's set up to be played exactly that way. It didn't play well if you played it a different way. So now, take all the bullshit that they've shown you in that last showcase this year, in engine. Nobody just sitting down playing the goddamn game. And it goes back to everything I've been saying for goddamn half a decade. They are lying. They do not know the what. They cannot deliver games of quality, of people want to play, and they consistently lie and lie and lie and think we are fools. And they just did a whole showcase just now of in-engine bullshit and still didn't even show Fable. and tell me again that all that shit's coming out ready for prime time, ready for Game Pass, ready for $70 to $80. State of Decay 2, 3. Oh yeah, everything is safe, Phil says. My ass, they're safe until the next wave of June. And if your game is not, even if you put out a game, you're getting closed nonetheless. But tell me, the choice of words, even when Sarah Bond talking about their next hardware and all that shit, their choice of words are not truthful. They are bent and twisted. But there you go. And Phil Spencer kept going on his thing. Ryan McCaffrey.
My team can verify this. When I
You to kind of follow the games I want to ask you about, which I love.
all yeah, you know,
You to kind of follow the
like all in game. Somebody
and that game.
In game, somebody. What, Phil? And then Ryan cut him off.
Dark.
I knew you were going to say that.
Perfect dark.
Yeah.
A first-person spy espionage, some parkour, a little Mirror's Edge in there, which I love.
All playable, like all in game. Somebody.
And that
In game, somebody. Yeah, well, it's somebody. It's fake. It's fake. With some elements here and there. So how far off? The guy says if you didn't play the same way in the video, it did not play well. Fake stuff in the title's gameplay shown last year. A vertical slice of in-engine footage. The game was canceled because it was nowhere near ready and was announced nearly 5 years ago. This is Xbox. You want to know what is Xbox? That is Xbox. And it grinds my fucking gears because we lose great games, great franchises. That's the thing. Who knows if the game was going to be great, but we know that the Perfect Dark franchise is dead because of them. We know it's dead. They killed it. And along with the studio and a whole bunch of people that lost their jobs. They killed it. It's over. Just like Conker never happened. It's over. Yeah, that Sneaker OS thing, I have it right here. And how do you trust anything that they ever do or anything that they ever announce? Everwild, gone. Perfect Dark in the studio, gone. Forza Team Motorsport. Dude, Forza Motorsport was pumping out games every other year of quality. Forza 3, Forza 4, Forza 5, Forza 6. And then it wasn't until Game Pass. They even came out with Forza Apex, which was a PC-only one. And it wasn't until Game Pass and this service bullshit that Forza took a 6-year sabbatical and came out with ass. And now the studio's gutted. How's that? Tell me Game Pass is a success. Dude, it diluted their games. It did exactly what Sarah Bond said it wouldn't do.
When we launched Game Pass, some people freaked out. They were worried it was going to destroy sales.
She wasn't even there.
Make it impossible for developers to make money. Devalue games.
That's exactly what happened. Game Pass is not a success. You had to buy publishers in order to fund it, to fill with content because developers didn't want to be there. And your games became diluted and devalued in quality. Forza, they used to put out a car every E3, and Daniel Greenwald will be out there showing off the new engine. Forza Motorsport was the only game on the Xbox One that hit 1080p 60 at launch. Everything else came out 900p, 800p. Due to Forza Motorsport 5 on the Xbox One, Microsoft could make the claim that it was a 1080p 60 frames per second box because it was the only game that did it at launch. That's it. Forza Tech was optimized for the Xbox. It was built for Xbox. Liveries, all that shit happened. Gran Turismo took that shit because Forza had it. The liveries, the custom things, the stickers. They were pumping out quality games. That was same thing was the 4K 60 frames on the Xbox One X. Their Forza tech was optimized for the console. And they couldn't even get Forza Motorsport to work because they dealt with Game Pass bullshit, put your games everywhere, day one, dilute the shit out of it, and there you go. And here, we got people talking about Game Pass and what's going on with it. Turn 10 fell victim to Game Pass. They all did. And you think that all this studio putting all that money in Perfect Dark to make a triple... And I said this back when Game Pass launched. I'm like, are we really going to get these big blockbuster games created from the ground up when they know that they're destined to be in a service that people are paying $1 for, paying $20 a month for, jump on and jump off, the churn. Jump on, play the campaign, and jump off. And you spend 7-8 years building that game, spending money, putting it in Game Pass. Really? People finally realizing it now. I had that speculation and it was called fear-mongering back in 2017. It was called fear-mongering and tell me to shut up. That's what it told. That's what they told me. Now I'm over 3,000 people in the Gaming Grindhouse coming in here in the chat and knowing that, yo, it's exactly what it was. People were trying to hold us down so we wouldn't create a commotion. But I knew exactly what a subscription service of first-party content would yield, and it yielded shit. Devalued games. And it made things more about the games became content, and it wasn't about the game. It was about the content for a subscription. That's the difference. It wasn't about telling a story. The fact that he sat there last year and talked about Perfect Dark and saying, I know how much it means to people and that franchise is so important. If that's the case, then this shit would still be here today. But because it was looked at as content for Game Pass and cost effectiveness and going into a service, now it became erased. Because they knew that they were putting too much money in a game that was destined to be in a subscription service that won't make a buck. So it was severed. So the value of that IP, the audience like me that wanted that game, get denied it because it didn't fit the profitability or growth bullshit of trying to put their games everywhere and their future of we're trying to fix Windows. And we lost the game because of that. A franchise that I love, that I always wanted. Hell, I know we're never going to Conquer. That's why I started this channel, because I was pissed off about Conquer not coming around. And now, after $80 billion of shit, they cancel Perfect Dark. And they say, Rare, don't make Everwild. Viva Pinata, Banjo, Conquer, Blast Corps, all these shit. All this stuff that Rare's sitting on, that they're sitting on. And all they want to do is pump out Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 7 in Game Pass. And speaking of Call of Duty, here it is. The subscription service, this is the guy on a gold member on here. This is one song with Oliver Doc, right? He put this up here. Last time I got anything resembling a bump of subscription service, Call of Duty last year, but Game Pass has absurdly high churn rate, so that it eventually just settled out. It doesn't sound like they expect the service to get a similar bump for future releases of Call of Duty. Purely closely to a novelty factor will have gone. The console adoption rate of Xbox is still backsliding, whereas the attach rate for Game Pass is over 90% of console users versus PC Game Pass. Majority of their Game Pass users are on console. That's why it boggles my mind that they don't focus on their console audience, because basically them pushing them to PC is going to be hard. And if they get rid of the console, they are losing 90% of their Game Pass money. Game Pass sorted of antiquated in the modern Xbox era. It was a service designed to heavily disrupt a calcified market heading into market transition, hopefully yield market growth. There's a lot that can be discussed regarding how Game Pass as a model basically destroyed purchasing habits of Xbox console users for the most part. Game Pass discussions tend to have me go on tangents, so I'll focus on what you asked. The future look like. He says part of the motivator that drove Microsoft to start releasing titles outside of Xbox ecosystem was to release software in places where Game Pass was not available. Also, they could put it in higher margins of those titles and certainly did work. Indiana Jones PS5 was a success for the team in game. I guess everybody loves the jank, for example. Once Project Latitude was decided upon internally, drive to try to expand Game Pass on other platforms like Steam, PSN, and Nintendo evaporated overnight. So they realized that those places where games are selling don't want a subscription service that will cannibalize their sales. So they said, keep your shit. So Microsoft was like, okay, we're not going to get Game Pass over there because they know that it's going to eat into their sales. So from their storefronts, so let's just put our games over there. It hasn't been brought up since then. Now, here's where things get interesting. Xbox ecosystem is the creation of a ramp to convert people who are within traditional ecosystems, console users, into being users who use the Windows Store version of games or the Steam version, which begins chipping away at the viability of Xbox SKUs in general. Game Pass is primarily a service whose services Xbox SKUs, with them planning on winding down the Xbox SKU in the platform ecosystem over the next decade. Well, it doesn't last that long. It's a problem that essentially phases itself out with time unless PC Game Pass adoption ticks up. Now remember, PC Game Pass is the best value in the sense that PC Game Pass is like friggin' $12 a month and you get their games. So basically you're freeloading all their games on PC Game Pass. Plus they give it away with every goddamn device I buy. 3 months, 1 month. I've been stacking it with every electronic device I buy. I got like a year of it from just buying laptops and desktops and cards and tablets and all that shit. So, fuck it. If for reload, I'll take it. The needle I'm interested in, though, is basically combining Game Pass with Xbox Live. To boost Game Pass subs, with the release of Windows OS-powered Xbox console, you're letting users access their Steam or Epic Games libraries. It's going to be impossible to ask them to pay for Game Pass to access online multiplayer. This is the questions that people should be asking. How are you going to have a dual boot system with one boot paying to play online the same games that you could play online for free with a Windows PC? How's that going to happen? Nobody asks those questions. They just say it's the future. Like fucking idiots. So, I imagine that they're going to kill the Game Pass sub requirement for online multiplayer for the next hardware. And that's a nail in the future of Game Pass, especially adding to a higher price tag. At this point, it's a service. Xbox SKUs of games basically living on borrowed time. Game Pass is going to have to convert a lot of console users into Windows Store users, which is a conversion they basically failed a long time ago. So, dude is cooking there. So, yeah. I really don't think making small games is looked down upon within the industry. In fact, the US developers, yeah, there's no aspect to this. So, like, I think the small games and the whole death of Game Pass, I think, is really the problem that's going to hurt these small games, or like these games that would maybe thrive in Game Pass in the sense of like games that haven't, will need that install base. But the problem is that now Microsoft really is just trying to focus on the big games, because they went out and bought them. They went out there. They stopped trying to develop. The initiative was a claim that we're going to build a studio and build from our franchises a studio from scratch. We're going to do what Sony and Nintendo kind of, like what Sony does. No. They didn't have the time or patience to do it. So they went out and said, hey, the studios we purchased in 2018, you go make little games. We're not waiting for you. We need bigger numbers. They went out and bought ZeniMax. They went out and bought Activision. And they just bought shit that was already on the store shelves instead of making it themselves, while talking a big game about where you can play. And those games were already everywhere. So instead of trying to build a Minecraft, they just said, hey, let's do what we do with Minecraft. Just buy a Minecraft. Just buy games that are everywhere. Activision, it's already there. Woo! We bought you. Now all work is done. We don't need to do shit. It's the lazy approach. It's just buying something off of store shelves and saying it's yours. And that's all they did. And once they took the easy way out, the less innovative way out, the McDonald's of gaming, they just said, we'll buy things that are already where they are, and we'll just keep it there. We don't need to invest in our studios. We don't slap a sticker on it. Exactly. And now they're doing the same thing with the hardware. Why do we have to build hardware from scratch and waste all that research and development and try to sell and make margins and all that other shit? We don't need to. Let somebody else do that, and we'll just slap a sticker on it and call it a day because our operating system is on it. Again, the least resistant path, the most ineffective path, the laziest path, and that's the way they're going and ruining gaming. And one of the other things that I wanted to do, and granted, I think we're going to definitely, this show has been going on. I said it's a long one. We're going to, there's one more area I want to cover, but we're going to be roasting them some more. So don't worry about it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. As we get over to 3,100 subscribers, which is absolutely incredible, we are like 20 away. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. But look at the transition here. Man, oh man. I remember when this guy was capping for Xbox and their studios and glazing Phil Spencer and loving him and kissing his ass. And now, let's listen to him.
I've said it a million times. This goes all the way back to the Xbox One. They never survived. They never recovered. They were in great shape with the 360. They pissed it all away with the Xbox One. As Phil himself observed, that was the worst generation to lose because it was the one where people started building their online libraries and started feeling embedded in an ecosystem. At this point, honestly, the one thing that's kind of keeping me engaged with the Xbox, aside from the handful of exclusive games that are on Xbox and Game Pass, which I love, is just the fact that I've just always kind of been an Xbox person since the beginning. I like the controller. I just like the vibes. You know, I like Xbox, right? I like it slightly better than PlayStation. But honestly, recently, the way things are going and reading the tea leaves and seeing these layoffs, and you're seeing like there's a lot of like hardware sales obviously are in the tank. Like there's questions about is there even going to be another traditional generation of Xbox hardware, or is it going to be something else? Are they going to pivot into this? Well, it's a platform now, but we're not going to make the hardware anymore. This is an Xbox, which is silly. An Xbox is an Xbox. Anything else is just something that happens to have a web browser built into it that can stream certain Xbox games. If you're falling for the this is an Xbox things, you are exactly the kind of marketing sucker that marketing people love. It's not an Xbox. But anyway, that's another conversation.
Yo, as Paris looks down on that thing because he's the one that's been glazing. This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox, dude. Paris looks down. Yo, look at Paris's face, man. Because that's exactly you are. Like this guy is actually saying what you should be saying because you are a sucker if that's what you believe it. Because it's not. Paris looks down. It's like, oh shit, yeah, man. He's talking about me, yeah, man. I just said this is an Xbox.
If you're falling for this is an Xbox things, you are exactly the kind of marketing sucker that marketing people love. It's not an Xbox. Anyway, that's another conversation. There's obviously plenty of money to be made in the video game industry right now. Sony's can just do very well. PlayStation 5 is killing it. Look at the Switch 2. They're gonna make billions on that thing, right? Switch 2 already the biggest console launch ever. There's the gamers are out there. So, but you know, the Xbox is increasingly struggling. Like I've spoken to game developers that will tell you that when a game comes out multi-platform, the number of copies that sell on Xbox as opposed to the other platforms is trivial. I look at certain games on my dashboard and I think like these kind of like weird quirky games and I'm like, how many people are even going to play this on Xbox? Like it's a very small market, right, for a niche game, and then you've got essentially what is now a niche platform compared to the other ones, right? Like sooner or later, developers are going to start saying it's just not worth porting these games over.
I think it's pretty funny. Paris agrees like that it's a niche platform.
Right? Like sooner or later, developers as kit, right, for a niche game, and then you've got essentially what is now a niche platform compared to.
Oh, he's shaking both of them are shaking their head. A niche platform. They're calling the Xbox a niche platform. You're gonna celebrate 25 years of Xbox, glazing the shit out of it. You two dudes are shaking your head that Xbox is a niche platform. Look at both of them shaking their heads.
niche platform compared to the other on Xbox. Like, it's a very small market, right, for a niche game, and then you've got essentially what is now a niche platform compared to the other ones.
They're shaking their head. Xbox is a niche platform,
right? Like, sooner or later, developers are going to start saying it's just not worth porting these games over, you know. And so I honestly worry a little bit about, like, I'm already in the back of my mind starting to think about, like, the mental process of, like, transitioning over to PlayStation. Because
dude, this guy, man, he was roasting the hell out of PlayStation. He loved Xbox. I gotta get him on when, oh my god, dude. And now he's turned. That's it. He's doing the mental
of right, for a niche game, you know. And so I honestly worry a little bit about, like, I'm already in the back of my mind starting to think about, like, the mental process of, like, transitioning over to PlayStation. Because that, if you ask me, I've said it a million times, this goes all the way back to the Xbox.
Crazy. At the end of all that, I'm considering going to PlayStation. That's why when this guy's saying, he did a whole 180, dude. A whole 180. A whole 180, man. When he was on there with Starfield, dude, the glaze was coming off the screen. Now he's like, yo, I'm done. They suck. Don't believe that, dude. This is how you should feel. Like, that's the friggin' truth. So it's just running around like what he said here.
Exactly the kind of marketing sucker that marketing people love. This is an Xbox things. You are exactly, anything else is just something that happens to Xbox.
He's talking about Dusty Bin, right? Right, Dusty? Dusty, where are you?
Dusty Bin and Tom Warren fighting Laura Fryer, but she cooking them both as these clowns do not know where to go. This is not an Xbox. These are clowns.
Dusty Ben.
Which is silly. An Xbox is an Xbox. Anything else is just something that happens to have a web browser built into it that can stream certain Xbox games. If you're falling for the this is an Xbox things, you are exactly the kind of marketing sucker that marketing people love. It's not. Like zoinks.
There you go, bootleg jazz. Yeah,
not an Xbox. But anyway, that's another conversation. There's
exactly. Bootleg jazz, all of them. It's an Xbox. This and that. Like, what are you doing? Are they trying to trigger for engagement, or they really believe that? But that's not the approach that you should do. And I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. But right there. And just one thing to tie it into. What he says at the end, that's what makes that whole Hellblade2 on Xbox a head scratcher. It's like, it's niche of a niche. Like, what do you think you're going to sell on that Xbox? What Helldivers do? Like, that's why it's such a head scratcher.
Obviously plenty of money to be made in the video game industry right now.
And there's plenty of money to be made in the gaming industry. And he says, Sony cooking, Nintendo cooking.
Industry right now. Sony's can just do very well. PlayStation 5 is killing it. Look at the Switch 2. They're gonna make billions on that thing, right?
Everybody's making money, Microsoft. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with...
Ron? Where are you?
Where
is Ron?
Why is Phil talking about growing and there? Everybody else seems to be doing fine. Everybody else is making their money. They're looking for a little extra hand-me-outs right now, but they're making their money. And that's the problem. Microsoft is too worried about everything else except making great games that will attract customers to their platforms. And I could say to their services. But they're so worried about Where, and Sarah Bond is out there, Where and this, and we're making the most innovative consoles and stuff like that. Doing what, man? Doing what? And now, what Dusty Bin is trying to follow up on, because now the Arcane founder now is saying Game Pass is unsustainable and damaging, and now that's where all this conversation is coming from, where he's saying like, you know, the whole, you know, Game Pass is unsustainable model that's been increasingly damaging industry for a decade, subsidized by MS infinite money, but at some point reality has to hit. I don't think Game Pass can coexist with other models. They'll either kill everyone else or give up. Then the Larian studio guy, what happens, says when the money all runs out. My most vocal concern in my network and one of my main economic reasons people I know haven't shifted to this business model. The infinite money thing never made any sense. The cannibalization of sales was the core concerns of Game Pass. If a developer or publisher launches a game exclusively on Game Pass, nobody technically pays for the game, except Microsoft paying to get it on the catalog. Douse, admittedly, that's a good thing for de-risking projects for smaller teams, but the buck stops there. That's what, and the same thing said, and that's what all these dopes on the internet, all these dopes.
Dusty Bin and Tom Warren fighting Laura Fryer. Truth wrapped up in lies. Bootleg, we need better words, better streams. No bootleg shadows in our dreams. Dusty Bin said, why did he leave? A yen to cap for Xbox and be glazed, and now he is out buying PS5 Pro.
Like zoinks!
Time to make the cookies.
This is pony talk, right, Don John? Yeah, pony talk, right? They're all ponies, right? This is everything. Even Strauss Zelnick said the same thing. It cannibalized. Goddamn Phil Spencer under oath. Microsoft admitted that Game Pass cannibalized sales. And still, these clowns, these supposedly media, will fight tooth and nail to say, no, Game Pass is sustainable. It's fine. I'm looking into this. Dude, you ain't looking into shit. Because the facts are that Microsoft wouldn't be in the situation they were in and have to buy $80 billion worth of publishers in order to get games in Game Pass if Game Pass was a lucrative business for them. And now what they're trying to do is they're trying to get them to do Play Anywhere, which is like, hey, make the game and give it to people twice for free. Fuck that. Nobody's doing that shit. That's why Play Anywhere has been dead since 2017. They're trying to revive it right now. Oh, Play Anywhere. Dude. Infinite money. What are you doing? You're paying people to give out a game for free on PC? Yeah, let's see how far that shit goes. Please.
Storm is coming.
Please. Now we give away, like Phil said, what they thought I was crazy. Give away another copy? Who really buys 2 copies? Well, your stupid ass is putting games on PlayStation, Phil. People are buying 2 copies of Sea of Thieves. So I guess people do. You're building a business off of people buying multiple copies by putting your games on PlayStation. So what the fuck are you talking about? People don't pay twice. If it's a good game, people were willing to do it. Oh, but now you're trying to convince them to put it on Xbox and put it on PC. One price. Phil outside the titty twister. The hell out of here. They said it themselves. This is everything we said was Game Pass, and people will call it fear-mongering. And these are developers. These are former studio heads. This is the industry speaking. And no one I also find it's funny is like, even when that guy over here was saying that shit about, about like, even what he says at the end, like, people don't listen.
Worth porting these games over, and so I honestly worry a little bit about, like, I'm already in the back of my mind starting to think about, like,
what he says here.
Developing as a platform compared to the other.
Hear what he
ones,
says here,
right? Like, as sooner or later, developers are going to start saying it's just not worth porting these games over, and so I honestly worry a little bit about, like, I'm already in the back of my mind, it's kind of like weird, quirky games, and I'm like, how many people are even going to play this on Xbox? It's a very small market, right, for a niche game, and then you've got essentially what is now a niche platform compared to the other ones, right? Like, as sooner or later, developers are going to start saying it's just not worth porting these games over. Does it sell on Xbox as opposed to the other platform? The Xbox is increasingly struggling. Like, I've spoken to game developers that will tell you that when a game comes out multi-platform, the number of copies that sell on Xbox as opposed to the other platforms is trivial.
Is that pony talk? Is that lies? He just said, I talk to other developers that tell you when they release a multi-platform game, the number of sales on the Xbox is trivial. We've seen it with MPDs. They drop off their games. We've seen it with Capcom not even reporting Xbox numbers for their games. Developers telling him, but nobody listens to that. They just want to hear Xbox is doing great. And you're delusional and glazed. Because they are talking to the industry, and the industry has spoken. Not only the community, the customer in what they're buying in Nintendo and Switch and PC, but the industry has told Microsoft Game Pass ain't for them. And you've seen it with the games that are not in there and the games that skip Xbox. Their plans failed. And they need to change, or they're done. I think they're so done right now, there's nothing left. Unless Sony's going to save them with their games. I have no fucking clue. But the industry has spoken multiple times. The problems with the Series S. The problems with cannibalization of Game Pass. The issues with consolidation and buying whole-ass companies to not do anything with their IP and shut them down and lay off left and right. And Michael Meridian says, did you see the information on Sneaker Us? Yep, we covered that one. I covered that one on this one. But grind is like, this is the future of Xbox. And it's going to be a wild ride. And it has been an epic show. And more to come this week. So subscribe. I got articles clicked on here that we got some more deglazing we're going to do, grinders. We got some deglazing to do this week. I'm back. But before I go, you've earned the songs. An incredible show of support and hanging out in the Gaming Grindhouse. I want to thank you that you guys hit the goals, so you deserve the songs. So, stay tuned. Here comes. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. You like those songs that had those little tunes? You're going to love this one. Grinders. Without further ado, Xbox sucks, man. That's all I gotta say. They hurt Perfect Dark. I have no qualms saying they suck again because they've destroyed my favorite franchise with their foolishness, with their focus on bullshit and not making great games. So this song goes out to all the upper management that have made and failed these studios and these games. Phil Spencer, to Satya, to Booty, to Sarah, to all the upper management that made these stupid ass decisions that hurt the games that we want to play and hurt the studios that they supposedly were giving money to and supporting them. One studio I didn't even cover today where the guy went there the day before and pulled their funding from one of the studios they purchased. We're going to cover that in a future podcast. That story. But the thing is that all the upper management, all those dopes, Amy in the Hood, all the pieces of shit that are ruining gaming, this song goes out to you. And this was earned by the Gaming Grindhouse. This is going to be a banger. Hit that like button, grinders. They suck again. Thank you again. Good night. It's raw, baby. It's raw.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
Turn it up, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Joystick shattered, dreams on the floor. Perfect dark canceled, what's it all for? Promises of greatness, now they fold. Xbox colder than a console with no soul. Suck again, yeah, they suck again. Controller in my hand, but the fun won't begin. Suck again, yeah, they suck again. Cancel all the games, watch the downfall spin. Studio silence, where's the innovation? Big green machine, stuck in stagnation. Master Chief crying, franchise decay. $1 billion brand, but no games to play. Suck again, yeah, they suck again. Every time I boot it up, feels like the end. Suck again, yeah, they suck again. They cancel Perfect Dark, my patience can't bend. Red rings in the mind, past scars linger. Promises of gold, but it's dust on the finger. Game Pass stack, but the quality thin. When the hype dies down, who gon' win? Perfect dark dreams turn to perfect despair. Development frozen like they don't even care. Corporate suits fumble, it's a comedy act. Xbox fumbling hard, that's the rawest fact.
Yeah.
One more because you guys rock.
What's up, ready? For big.
Let's go.
Joystick shattered, dreams on the floor. Perfect dark cancel, what's it all for? Promises of greatness, now they fold. Xbox colder than a console with no soul. Suck again, yeah, they suck again.
controller in my hand, but the fun won't begin. Suck again, yeah, they suck again. Cancel all the games, watch the downfall spin. Studio silence, where's the innovation? Big green machine, stuck in stagnation. Master Chief crying, franchise decay. $1 billion brand, but no games to play. Suck again, yeah, they suck again. Every time I boot it up, feels like the end. Suck again, yeah, they suck again. They cancel Perfect Dark, my patience can't bend. Red rings in the mind, past scars linger. Promises of gold, but it's dust on the finger. Game pass stack, but the quality thin. When the hype dies down, who gon' win? Perfect dark dreams turn to perfect despair. Development frozen, like they don't even care. Corporate suits fumble, it's a comedy act. Xbox fumbling hard, that's the rawest fact. Look!
But I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine!
I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games.
Oh no! We suck again!